All right, all right, all right. Man, I'm gonna tell y'all a story. So I was upgrading my StreamYard account, right? I was upgrading it, and I didn't even realize I charged $240 for the year. I went to my I went to my joint, I went to my bank account. I'm like, $240 on what? And I was like, oh, all right, I guess it kind of pays for itself like a pair of clippers. You feel what I'm saying? Like, you buy a pair of clippers after a couple of cuts, it pays for itself. So I ain't even mad at that, but I wish I would have been paying attention. My old ass. I was rocking, George. I got a couple of things on my mind. I didn't really want to make a video about, or at least I've already made a video about it, but I would want to discuss it. One thing that I got on my mind is I watched Billy Joe Saunders' IFL interview with Coogan Cassius, right? I was rocking JD, was rocking New Country, SSB Kid. I watched Billy Joe Saunders' live interview with Coogan Cassius, why he don't want to take the Canelo fight. And I'm like, bro, it's something else going on there. It has to be, because what you saying don't make sense, bro. For a September fight, you ain't got enough time. That don't make sense. That don't make sense. What's rocking, Brian? I was rocking Ray Corey. For a September fight, you talking about a fight in the middle of September. I believe it's the second week of September on the 12th. You telling me from now till then, you don't have enough time. Now, the money ain't going to be the same, which is true. And I'm going to get everybody in on this. I'm going to see if I can get some people in on this or whatever. The money ain't going to be the same money that it normally is. Granted. But at the same time, okay, so who you trying to fight? Because you just fought Coceres. Wasn't nobody interested in that. That was like, what kind of fight was that? So what kind of fight you about to have if and when you come back? I feel that way. I feel that way, kid. I feel that way. That it's more going on there, because what he's saying, it's not adding up, bro. It's not adding up. Let me see. I'm trying to play with my themes here. I'm trying to play with my themes here. Since I paid the $240, not realizing I might as well use it for all it's worth. All right, there you go. That's the background. That's the background. All right. That's gonna be our Ring IQ background. Got the Ring IQ background. Feel me? All right, all right, all right. And they got themes. What's the themes? But yeah, the reasons that he gave, they don't make a lot of sense to me. The reasons that he gave don't make a lot of sense to me. So it can only be a few things. Either you have, which is what Fish, shout out to Fish, which is what Fish just said. Either you put on so much weight during the lockdown that you don't think you could cut down from 200 or wherever you at right now in 10 weeks, or you cycling off of something. It could be that you would need to use something to get down in weight and get down fighting fit. It ain't just losing the weight, it's getting down there and being fighting fit. You need something, and it's Canelo. You know it's gonna be VADA testing. You already know, and you already know you finna lose because it's Canelo. Ryan accepted Luke Campbell. Stop playing. Stop playing. Stop playing. Yeah, that's the Ring IQ icon of icons, yo. Arguably, you could make that argument, based the kid. Let me post the link in the description box. Get some people in here and on this. It's a couple of things I got on my mind that's chapping my ass. I already talked about some of them, but I just want to open up the discussion to the panel, because it's a couple of things I got on my mind that's chapping my ass, and I'm tired of making videos about them. I'm gonna let everybody in on the conversation. I mean, I don't know how else to interpret it, Brian. I don't know how else to interpret it, because you're talking about 10 weeks. The fight that from that date, it's 10 weeks out. So there's more than enough time to prepare. if you've been doing what you gotta do. Now, if you ain't been doing nothing, then yeah, then it's gonna be hard for you. So I'm gonna pose this question to Base the Kid. Base the Kid, what's rocking with you?
What's good, Julius? But talk to me.
All right, Billy Joe Saunders, duck or no duck? What's the story?
100% Doc. 100%. That guy, like I said, the most wasted talent in recent history, like one of the most unprofessional boxers in recent history. When it comes to him, the crazy thing is like all the opportunities he gets, and for some reason they always just seem to fall by the wayside. It always seems to be him has got an excuse as to why they ain't happening.
That's
You
true.
knew about this thing from May, like regardless of whether you said it wasn't fully signed, it wasn't fully signed. You was ready from then. You should have been ready from back then. You've had all that time. You lied to try to say, "Oh well, I've got a little setup in the garage, but it's not really great. I was ticking over, but no, you weren't." I looked at the size of that guy's face. He looked like a chipmunk in those videos. That guy
Yes,
was
he did.
eating everything during COVID. He just unprofessional.
If you follow Josh Taylor on Instagram, Josh Taylor, I believe, posted a selfie, couple of guys in the background. Billy Joe Saunders was one of them. He was off to the left of the picture. And you can see that he's soft in the body, his face is full, he's soft in the body. Like, remember, before COVID locked everything down, you were supposed to be fighting Canelo. So
Yep,
you really don't have an excuse to not be at least halfway there or a third of the way there. Shout out to JD. I appreciate that, bro. I said on
100%
Twitter,
agree with you.
let me just read out this super chat. I said on Twitter, I don't care who Rob fights so long as he's serious about getting the title because both fights lead to a title shot. Billy is ducking. I agree. Back to you, Base the Kid. So you call it a duck.
Yep.
All right. Let's get Dan in on this. Dan, Billy Joe Saunders, duck or no duck?
100% duck, man. I mean, he's been full of excuses, him and Han going back and forth. And most recently, wasn't he talking about maybe retiring because his buddy was going to walk away
Yep.
from boxing or something like that?
Yep.
Who was like, I guess, part of his promotion. It's one excuse after another,
Yeah.
And Sanders, he should have took the fight against Canelo a long time ago, and he never did it.
Well,
So,
that's
I
the
mean,
thing. That's the thing. Billy, before everything got shut down, right? The story was that Billy took the fight before everything got shut down. Now, if he had said something else, I could have accepted it. Like if you tell me, look, I took this fight on before the COVID shut everything down, and now the money's different because there's no live gate. If you present it to me that way, I could understand it. But the fact you talking about, oh, they playing mind games. What the hell do you mean mind game? Ain't no mind games. Like what
none.
mind games?
None whatsoever, man. None whatsoever. I mean, he may as well just shut up and retire. I mean, it's disgusting to see the excuses coming out of a fighter like that when he used to hold a title. It's like, come on, man.
And he
Have some
still does. He
self-respect.
still does. That's the other thing. He's still the WBO champ. It's like, yo, every single reign. And it's the weirdest thing. Because Billy doesn't have a terrible, for what it's worth, I've seen worse resumes. Remember, he gave John Ryder his first loss. He gave Gary Spike O'Sullivan his first loss. He gave Chris Eubank Jr. his first loss. He beat Andy Lee for the title. He gave David Lemieux a boxing lesson. I've seen worse resumes than Billy's. But it's like you never gonna cross over to that next place if you don't bite the bullet. It's not gonna happen, bro. You was with Frank, it didn't happen, and now you with Eddie. And you know what? If you keep moving like that, it ain't gonna happen, regardless of who you with. I'm gonna pose the question of battle. Billy Joe Saunders, duck or no duck?
It's pretty much a duck. I mean, just from what you guys described, I don't know the whole details, but a guy said that he could have fought Canelo ages ago. I mean, he could have fought Triple G ages ago too. Even though a lot of people say that Triple G duck Billy Joe Saunders, he could have fought him before that, but that's a whole nother story too. So
I mean, I think it's fair to say they both. Billy Joe Saunders could have fought Triple G in 20. I believe it was 2016 going into 2017. He had the chance. Uh, uh, and then Triple G ahead of the Canelo fight because that's when Billy Joe Saunders decided to start acting like he wanted to fight.
Yeah, you remember when who was it who had the belt? Was it didn't Quillen have the WBO belt at one point?
Yeah,
Or
he had the WBO.
yeah, of course he went on that whole charade about him not fighting him, and then as soon as he lost all Danny Jacobs, and I think Billy Joe Saunders had he wasn't all for that. He wasn't all for let me get this, let me become unified. He wasn't all going for that until like a year later.
Yeah, and I remember when Peter Quillen had the WBO title, he wanted an amount of money that even Golovkin wasn't making at the time. Like, bro, Golovkin ain't even making that. So how you gonna ask him for that? That's just a way of you saying you don't want that fight. That's all that was. Cause he wasn't. I think he wanted. I forgot how much it was. It was like 5 million, something like. It was like an amount of money. Golovkin wasn't making that at that time. So how you gonna ask him for that if he ain't even making that? All right, now I'm gonna pose the question to Virtuoso. Billy Joe Saunders, duck or no duck?
Not only is Billy Joe Saunders a duck, but he's a new spokesperson for Aflac.
All
For
right,
real.
all right, all right. I mean, I'll take it. I mean, I guess we all in agreement on that one. That look, Billy doesn't have any excuses. Like, you a 2 division champion, and you really haven't had a big fight yet. Like, you could argue that maybe the Andy Lee fight was his signature fight, and he looked good in that fight, by the way. He did. I mean, like, he did his thing. And you could argue that maybe David Lemieux is a signature win, maybe. But there's no excuses. You're a 2 division champion. You haven't done anything since the Lemieux fight. You need to fight Canelo. We got Mark in the building. Mark, Billy Joe Saunders, duck or no duck?
Fuck him.
Yeah.
It's a duck. It's a duck. It's
It's a
like
damn shame.
the fight date is 10 weeks out, bro. What the hell have you been doing that you can't get ready? And that's 10 weeks. 10. He said, "Oh, well, 4 of those weeks we're gonna spend promoting the fight, bro." Come on, that's always the circumstances. That's always the circumstances.
Oh, mate, look. Do you remember when I did that little video on Billy Joe? Julius?
How long ago?
A while ago, I was talking about him being a victim of his own idiocracy.
I remember that. I remember that.
I don't care anymore. Like, if you're not going to fight the guy who's rated by a lot of people to be the #1 pound-for-pound fighter on the planet, a career high payday, and say that you're in this for your own business, you're not worth paying attention to.
I agree. It's not worth it anymore. Like, bro, you didn't. For starters, okay, the Andre fight fell apart because of you, right?
Yeah.
The Andre fight fell apart because of you. You don't seem to be showing any enthusiasm towards fighting Callum. Like, you ain't even really pressed to fight him. And now you ain't pressed to fight Canelo either. So who are you pressed to fight, bro? Like, what are you doing that anybody should even pay attention to?
Can I tell you who? Can I tell you who's being rumored as his opponent?
Who?
Zach Parker.
Get out of here. Get out of here.
Anyone here who know who Zach Parker is?
I looked him up on
Honestly, I do not.
I thought Zach Parker was being rumored for Callum Smith, not Billy Joe.
Oh, now it's being rumored for Billy Joe.
Oh,
Yo,
okay.
get out of here, dog.
I've heard the name, but I have no idea who that is.
Get
Let me
out.
tell you something. Somebody who doesn't belong in a world title fight yet.
See,
All right.
and I can't be on board for that. Like, I can't. There's no, even if I wanted to, I couldn't make excuses for that. Even if
Can I ask? I'm sorry.
No, go ahead, bro.
Okay, so Billy Joe Saunders cites that he didn't have enough time for training camp to prepare for a Canelo fight.
Yeah,
Right?
he didn't have 9 weeks.
Okay. Everybody and their mother knows when Canelo is fighting. May 5th, September 18th, around the middle of September, Mexican Independence Day. Those are his 2 days, because that's marketing wise, that's where he's placating to his fan base.
Cinco de Mayo and Mexican Independence Day.
So how in the hell can he not prepare for that and not think to himself, you know what, let me plan ahead, because this is what he does. It's predictable at this point.
Well, think about it like this, Virtuoso, right? You already had the Canelo fight, right? So you should have already been on the path because you literally already had it. COVID shut everything down, but it's one of them things to where, look, if I'm doing what I got to do on my end because I want this fight, how the hell am I going to be out of shape? Maybe they'll give me a phone call and reschedule the Canelo fight. Until they do, I'm gonna stay on top of my game. Not Billy. Billy ate himself out of the fight, and he don't seem to care.
Bro, it's not the first time Billy Joe's done something like this, and it won't be the last time.
That's,
I mean, does anybody remember a few years ago, right? Maybe about 2.5 years ago, Billy Joe was meant to be fighting Martin Murray.
I remember
at the
that.
O2 at the O2 in London. Ticket sales were doing badly. Billy Joe pulled out of the fight. Does anyone remember what his excuse was?
Didn't he quote
Wasn't
unquote
that when he hurt his hand for wanking?
He injured his hand from wanking.
Yeah.
Oh my
Listen,
god.
man,
I forgot about that. Oh shit. Oh man.
Billy Joe Saunders went to the Olympics and got suspended for flashing a woman.
Matter of fact, I remember because that was I remember that. And that was a great video, by the way. I invite anybody watch that if you aren't familiar with Billy Joe Saunders as a fighter, right? Like you just know what's going on now.
No, fuck that video. Next 2 days, full career breakdown.
But can we say this? Billy has a better resume than Demetrius Andrade. I think we could say that.
Yeah, he does.
Andy Lee at the end of his career, Eubank inexperience, they're his best wins. Andy Lee was getting past it. No, hold on.
Billy was no more experienced than Chris. Let's be honest. Are we gonna make excuses for Chris?
He was way more experienced.
No, he had more of a background. We can say that Billy was an Olympian. He was an Olympian, right?
Billy had already fought and beat guys like John Ryder.
True. But John Ryder was undefeated. He wasn't all that experienced at the time either.
Still, but like that wins aged very well. He's got a solid resume. Look, it's all right. Yeah, maybe it's better than Demetrius Andrade. Resume means something like for sure. But the difference is Andrade is actually on top of his actual himself. You know what I mean?
Yes, he is.
Whereas Billy Joe isn't. And Billy Joe, yes, in the past, he's built a solid enough resume. But since then, and since his good fights, and since coming off of Exilifrin, right, because he got tested positive in Massachusetts, I think it was Massachusetts, right? Massachusetts State Athletic Commission. Since then, what's happened? He fought like shit against the Argentinian. He was terrible against Shifa Isafi. And the dude he fought before that, bro, Billy Joe Saunders was fighting at cruiserweight.
Yes, he was. And everybody forgot about that.
This is an amateur welterweight, bro.
He got
He's already fighting way above where he should be at middleweight because he's actually not a natural middleweight. He's not like he's fighting near what is real walking around weight should be. There is no way in hell that you should be 5'8" and walking around. You're walking around weight at 210 pounds.
Billy ain't 5 foot. Well, at least to my knowledge, right? And from looking at it, Billy's about 6 feet.
Billy is not 6 foot
He's not
tall.
that tall.
He is not 6 feet.
He's about 5'9". He's about 5'9".
He's 5'9", mate.
He's a very generous 5'9". That's what I'm.
No, he's 5'9", bro.
He's a very generous 5'9".
A lot of the heights that a lot of guys give are actually like what fake heights. Like when you see him next to a guy whose height record says, "Oh, I'm 5'10" and he's an inch taller than him," assume that guy is 5'7".
He's shorter than Danny Jacobs.
I know it's true with Canelo. They got Canelo on there, 5'8", 5'9", and we know he ain't 5'9" or 5'8".
Bro, wait. Here's the thing though. Every time I tell somebody, they always getting on me. They'll be like, "How tall is Mayweather?" I'm like, "Well, he's 5'8". And they're like, "Mayweather's not no 5'8", man." I'm like, every time I look this thing up.
It's one of the other because they got Mayweather listed at 5'8", right? And they had Canelo listed at 5'8", but Mayweather was taller than Canelo. He's a little taller than him, like by half an inch. So something ain't right. Either he 5'8" or Canelo ain't 5'8".
I think Mayweather was wearing platforms.
Oh yeah, I remember the stare down.
That is a good point.
Years ago.
Yeah. Oh yeah, y'all just can't let Mayweather. Yeah, he probably had lifts though. He got little man complex.
Well, you know those shoes he always wearing. Those are those Asics? Those boxing shoes he be wearing? Those white and black.
Those look like Vans. I thought those was Vans.
I'm talking about. You know how almost every time Mayweather fights, he has the same pair of boxing shoes on, it's just like a different color.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah,
know if
yeah.
those are Asics or Reeboks or whatever,
It's
but
Reebok.
yeah, those are pretty tall once you wear them.
I'm gonna say, look, I believe that Mayweather is closer to 5'8" than I believe Canelo is 5'8". I don't believe Canelo's 5'8". I believe Canelo's somewhere around maybe 5'7.5", 5'7". I don't think Canelo's 5'8". He looked like a goddamn lightweight next to the Charlo brothers.
Julius, what height would you say that Sean Porter is?
Sean Porter, I would say, is about 5'6".
You'd say he's about 5'6"?
About 5'6", 5'6.5". He's not a big guy at all. I mean, not in terms of length, no.
Okay, so I'm gonna send you an image. That's cool.
Is it in the chat or is it on Twitter?
I'll put it in.
Be a face off with Kell Brook or something.
Do you want me to put it in the private chat?
Yeah, put it in the private chat.
Hold on. All right, so Mayweather's what height did you say? 5'8"?
I'd say he's about 5'8". Okay. And we know Terrence Crawford is taller than Mayweather, noticeably taller. In that picture they took with each other in a basketball game.
There it is in the private chat.
All right, I'm gonna copy the link right now. Copy. All right, bet. Let's go over here. And I'm gonna post it on the joint so we can look at it. I'm gonna screen share the joint.
And we know Broner ain't tall either.
Yeah, see, yeah.
He's about 5'7".
This is
no, he ain't, bro. He's the same height as Manny.
All right, share screen. Share screen.
Yeah, we're roughly the same height.
Yeah, see, look at that. Look at that. So Mayweather looked to be about 5'7", right? Can we say that?
Maybe about 5'6.5", 5'7". No.
Hold on, how come we didn't get this fight though?
I think I explain this. I think I can explain this. when you're looking at Mayweather, almost every time he fights, he's always wearing those like what Bro mentioned, those platforming shoes. So of course they're gonna look bigger. And once you do the face off, aren't they not wearing shoes?
Yeah, usually. Well, not always. They ain't always barefoot because after they get off the scale, they put their stuff back on a lot of the time. So.
But if Floyd ain't fighting in this, he's just there. I think he was promoting it. This is Porter versus Broner.
Yeah, because
he does look a little taller than Porter, though. I mean, Porter looks noticeably smaller next to him.
Not noticeably, man. It's like a half-inch, Julie.
Funny enough, I think they have listed Robert Guerrero as 5'8", and he looks like almost the same height as Mayweather.
I'll say. It's obvious that a lot of the heights are off. I mean, it's obvious. But Terrence Crawford is listed as being what, 5'8", and I believe he is 5'8". I've seen him next to Mayweather. He's noticeably taller than Mayweather. I believe the tail of the tape on Crawford. Now Canelo,
yeah,
Canelo ain't.
I think Mayweather's 5'7".
Yeah, 5'7", 5'6", 5'6.5", 5'7", something like that.
So how tall do you think AJ is?
AJ, I'm not. AJ's it's different.
I think AJ is one of the very few fighters whose height is legit.
Yeah,
I think he is 6'6" because I've seen him stare in the ring, in the face-off, like in just boxing, in just the regular boxing fucking shows that they have. Him and Klitschko, they were the same fucking height.
Yeah,
none of the 6'9" fucking platforms of Klitschko.
I've got a picture with Anthony Joshua. He is legit as tall as he's claimed.
Yeah, and
you see me in the picture. I'm not short, but he towered over me. So
I've seen him. Yeah. Look, I've seen him next to Lennox Lewis. He's taller than Lennox. Lennox was legitimately 6'5".
Well, but you get shorter as you get older, though.
Oh, God.
In other words, he ain't pulling a Hulk Hogan.
Yeah, but this was when Lennox was 47, Battle. You don't lose 2 inches in your mid 40s. You start losing shit in your 60s.
Well,
look, we're talking heavyweights, and I treat heavyweights different than everyone else. You're talking welterweights; they lie about their height a lot. And even the middleweights do it. They lie about their height a lot. You know, so Mayweather ain't. Mayweather ain't motherfucking 5'8". Let's.
What height do you reckon Sugar Ray Leonard was?
Well, no, Sugar.
He was 5'10".
Sugar was 5'10". Sugar was 5'10". He wasn't lying.
If you look at the face off with him and Wilfred Benitez, you can see he's 5'10".
Sugar didn't look no 5'10" next to Mike Tyson.
Well, Mike and him They didn't. Mike wasn't taller than him. Mike
You
wasn't.
sure?
Well, Sugar Ray Leonard is above 50, so he could have shrunk. He is above 50.
No, even back then when they was on the Arsenio Hall show, Mike
Yeah.
wasn't taller than Sugar. He was just
I think at one point when they was doing a documentary on Mike Tyson,
That's
they said,
fair. Oh shit, yo, they are the same height, bro. Holy crap.
Yeah, Mike wasn't taller than
Yeah,
Sugar.
Mike's only an inch taller than Ray.
I
I
wouldn't
thought
say
Mike was
an inch.
5'11".
No, Mike is 5'10" and a half.
Man,
That's
look,
5'10", yeah.
Mike Tyson, I love him, but that man is not 5'11". Let's
Okay.
stop. Let's just stop. Or everybody,
You know, I didn't know this whole time. Michael Grant was 6'7". I thought he was 6'5" or 6'6". I thought they was kind of over exaggerating his height.
now back to the point. So we're all in agreement, so we can move on from that subject. Billy Joe Saunders has no excuses. That is a
Fuck
dub.
him.
Fuck him. Ugas is excited to fight for the WBA regular title. Talk about it, Mark.
Ooh, his opponent is an absolute fucking A-lister, bro. Have you seen this guy fight? No, have you seen this guy fight?
I mean,
No.
I had to look him up, bro. I'm being honest. I'm a diehard
Oh.
boxing fan. I have never heard of Abel Ramos. So
Okay, hold on. Has anyone else seen him fight?
No.
Who said yeah?
I mean, I know he fought Baranchik. I know he fought Prograde. Who else did he fight?
Will I tell you who he fought?
Who he fought?
Anybody who's good, he lost to, and he lost decisively with absolute ease. Garbage.
Yeah. I mean, forgiven.
I'll say this to you right now. What's his name? Who's Spence's man at 30? Ocampo.
Yep.
Yeah, he fucking lit up Abe. Actually, you know what? That's a fight of the year contender right there. Abel Ramos and fucking Carlos Ocampo. That's bollocks, bro.
Listen, man. I cut Ugas slack and all of that because I understand.
Ugas should fight Virgil Ortiz for that fucking regular
Ugas, come on, bro. He's not gonna fight that guy.
Of course he's not gonna fucking fight.
If you, no, I want to go across the board with this. Duck or no duck? Talk about it. Is it a duck?
Is what a duck?
Ugas was in contention to get Terrence Crawford. Before this WBA whatever, he was in contention to get Terrence Crawford out of Bob Arum's own mouth. You know that Spence don't want to fight you because 4 weeks ago he said he don't want to fight you. He said ain't no reason, get your name up. So you know you're not gonna fight for none of those two titles. You know Manny don't know who you are, bro. You're not getting a Pacquiao fight. Your only chance to fight for a title is Crawford. You rather fight Abel Ramos for the WBA. Okay. Duck or no duck?
Will I go first?
Go ahead.
No duck, because I think he thinks the regular title is a legitimate world title. Because Guillermo Rigondeaux has one.
Come on, bro. You all right? That's Mark's stance. He's sticking.
Nah, let me finish. Main reason I don't think it's a duck is because I don't think he's ducking Crawford. I think the PBC refused to let any of the fighters that are any no.
Listen, Daniel Jacobs negotiated his ass out of under Al Heyman's thumb. All right, he crossed over the mat. He was one of the first guys from the PBC.
Danny Jacobs isn't a Cuban who had to arrive over in America via fucking lily pad just to be able to fight for 300K against Sean Porter.
Long enough, he knows how to order Rogaine on Amazon, so he doesn't know how to get a Crawford fight.
What about the case of Gary Russell wanted? Okay, what about the case of Gary Russell wanted to get out of his deals and his contract? He didn't. He said he had trouble with getting out of his.
Gary Russell, look, I don't know. Shout out to France Panzu. I appreciate that, bro. Gary, I don't know whether he's coming or going because it feels like a lot of empty threats. He's been saying that for a while. He said, if I don't get Leo, I'm going to go to Top Rank and try to fight Bachel. That was over a year ago, bro. He said over a year ago, yo, I'm not a PBC fighter. I go where I want. That was over a year ago. I don't know whether you coming or going, bro. You still on that side of the street. So I don't know.
Julius, I think he's just doing what he's told, man.
I don't look at it that way because Jacobs crossed over. Better Beef crossed over. Wasn't Hooker on the PBC for a time?
Okay.
Maurice Hooker?
I'm not sure about Hooker. I'm not sure about Hooker.
When he
I'm not
fought,
sure,
Okay.
but
no wait,
yeah.
when he fought Darlise Perez, I believe it was. Wasn't that a PBC card? I'm gonna look
Mm,
it up right now.
I just think it's a bit different at 147 with how the PBC have been operating in that division.
How many excuses are we supposed to make for it, bro?
I'm not making an excuse at all. I'm saying what the PBC have been known to consistently do, and that's freeze out Crawford.
But I'm not. Look, I'm not. This is what's this dude is gonna end up getting a 33 and 34 and 35, and nobody. It's like, bro, I don't want to keep hearing, oh, he hasn't fought nobody at welterweight, bro. They don't want to fight him at welterweight. Somebody got to say something. Why is Ugas more comfortable fighting for a baby belt instead of going after Crawford?
well, here's the thing: has he addressed why he turned down the fight?
Well, he said he's thankful for the opportunity. If you want me to read his comments, let me read this super chat. I appreciate that, Boxing God 7. Shout out to Ring IQ panel. Respect to all. Appreciate everyone's hard work. Why can't Bud Crawford get a fight at welterweight? Ramirez and Taylor willing. Natural welterweights. Yeah, I agree. 100%. 100%. 100%. We can't do it with Spence and then do it with Thurman and then do it with Porter and now we got to do it with Ugas. We's already doing it with Danny. Bruh, y'all freezing him out and I'm not cool with it. Y'all scared of him, man. If y'all felt y'all could beat him, you would go beat him. If they don't let y'all fight that guy, it's because they don't think you can beat that guy. You're not going to tell me that an Abel Ramos fight is more worth your time than a potential pay-per-view and a multi-million-dollar payday with Terrence
It's not. It's not. It's absolutely disgraceful. And to be honest, I reckon that guy Ugas, I genuinely believe this, whether you'll agree with me or not, I guarantee you he would actually take the fight if he wasn't being told otherwise.
He's being look. All right, he's being told otherwise.
He's probably being told, if you go and win this belt, what we'll do for you is we'll give you a unification fight with Errol, right? WBA versus that. So after Errol fights Danny, Ugas gets a fight with Errol instead.
Or what they could be telling him, which is what I honestly believe they're telling him. Manny Pacquiao is 41 going on 42. He's not going to be around forever. If you win this regular title, you might be elevated to full champion when he retires. That's honestly what I believe they're telling him. And then we can make your fight, which goes to your point, then we can make your fight with Spence a unification match because you'll have a full-fledged world title. That's what
I think that's really highly possible because I think Manny Pacquiao's never going to fight again.
You don't think he's going to come back?
No, he's already been out of the ring for an entire year now. There's no crowds coming back this year, more than likely. Manny's over in the Philippines. It's hard to get from the Philippines now to America. You won't be looking at him being able to fight again until May,
next
June.
year.
Mikey Garcia in Saudi Arabia is not a viable. Even under these circumstances, you don't think they could put that together?
I guess maybe they could, but it wouldn't be till next year. So maybe if he has one more fight, it'll be Mikey, but it won't be like Errol or anything like that.
It was never gonna be Errol to be in.
I think that was what the original intention was.
I don't think it was because there's no reason, listen. There's no reason in the world, and Sean Gibbons and Boo Boy Fernandez. This is why I think it was never gonna be Errol. Before the outcome of Sean Porter versus Errol Spence Jr. was decided, Sean Gibbons, Manny's manager, was like, what the hell are we going to fight the winner of that fight for? It's a high-risk, low-reward fight. Boo Boy, in plain English, these are quotes. I've posted the article many times in different videos from the Phil Star, whatever the fuck it's called. He said, yo, at this stage, we got to protect Manny because of his age. We don't get nothing out of fighting the winner of that fight. And that was before the fight even came off.
So either way, we're still in some form of agreement that Manny's either going to retire or he's going to have one more fight and then retire, and that fight will be Mikey.
I agree with that.
So the belt, that WBA belt, will go vacant, and then if Yordenis wins the regular, he'll probably get elevated because they'll petition for it so that they can unify with Spence.
Exactly. And I believe that is what they are telling Yordenis Ugas. That is how I think they've gotten him to stay on that side, even though, you know what? You could fight for a world title, a full-fledged world title sooner. but this is the path of least resistance. You'd sooner win a WBA regular from fighting Abel Ramos than winning anything fighting Terrence Crawford.
Well, there's that. Plus, remember, they don't really care about the WBO at PBC. So, maybe to him, he's been told the same thing that half the others have been told. Oh, that belt means nothing. It's like the IBO. It's like the former, what was it called? That former WBF belt. Like that's how they're probably breaking it down to it.
But it's inexcusable. It isn't because we know who Terrence Crawford is, man.
I agree with you, but I'm just saying, let's put context to it. They do not value the WBO belt. Most of the people.
No, bro. I don't think it's that. Otherwise, they wouldn't have certain fighters of theirs holding the WBO belt in different weight divisions.
Remember, they're lining up one of their own guys to fight for the god. Well, or they were. Brian Castaño was all set to challenge Patrick Teixeira for the WBO title. So it matters when it's convenient. It matters when it's convenient. Peter Quillen used to hold it. Peter Quillen used to hold it.
Look, let me just say this, right? We all know one thing, that's for sure. It's not that I don't think they don't value the WBO. I think they're saying that and pushing it completely to one side because of how much they do not want Crawford right now. Right now, they want to age dude out before they fight him.
Yes, I agree with that. I agree with that 100%.
If they fight him.
And I've said this many times on many live streams. It wouldn't surprise me at all if Errol Spence went his whole career and never fought Crawford. That would not surprise me at all. At all. And that was before the car accident. I was saying that before the car accident. It wouldn't surprise me. Why?
Which sucks ass because it's a sick fight.
I don't think it's I'm gonna say this and I'm not gonna stay on it too long. Ioka versus Tanaka is more of a 50-50 fight to me than that fight.
Wonder what everyone on the panel thinks. Who you got? Spence versus Crawford.
Me, I'll go Crawford.
Well, I would go with Crawford. Just because of the car accident. Because beforehand, I mean, everybody was saying like, you know what, this guy Spence could take it. Could take the fight in the pocket. He's a war in the trenches kind of guy. If he could just just cut the ring off on Crawford, then yeah, I think he could successfully win that fight. But I don't know how much he could take, punishment after that car accident. We don't know where his mind is at collectively, So I would go with Crawford, after, post, car crash.
Battle is going to be a contrarian, and he's going to go Spence.
Actually, no. I pick Crawford.
No, I mind tricked you, bro. I got my word in, so you would disagree with me.
Because no. If you actually look at the receipts, like just listen to me or me talk on other people's channels, I've always picked Crawford. And this is
Paul's been saying this for 2 years.
And this is something that I hate that it's come to, but I mean, reality is reality, and you guys have your opinion. But I hate the fact that this accident happened because the fact of the matter is, like, nobody's going to see this fight the same as anymore. And I had Crawford beating a prime Spence beforehand. I broke down how he was going to win. If you're talking about somebody named Errol Spence Jr., a lot of people seem to forget that although Errol Spence Jr. is very aggressive, he's really good. A lot of southpaws get shots for free. And that's the simple reason why a lot of people don't like fighting up against aggressive southpaws, because they can step around you so easily and get those shots off for free. Okay. When you're fighting an orthodox fighter, it's not so simple. You can't just step around people so easy. When it comes to
ambidextrous,
of course, and that's my thing. That's my thing. How is Errol Spence going to have his southpaw advantage with the guy who can constantly switch? And then you have to also take into account that how is Errol going to get off those drag you by the head pull up shots when Crawford has some of the best. I can roll my punch and come back with my left hand like what he did with Ndongo. Okay. Of course, it would be a rough fight for Crawford. Like Errol Spence is really strong, but
I don't need a full preview, breakdown, and prediction to tailor the tape, man. Just ask who you got.
Well, I said Crawford. That's who I started off with. But I'm saying, like, I broke down that fight years ago.
I agree with Battle for a change. I agree with that, which is saying a lot. I think that a lot of us are in agreement. that's Crawford's fight to win. I view that fight as a 60-40 to a 65-35 kind of fight. I'm very confident Crawford wins that fight. Ioka versus Tanaka is more of a 50-50. Better Be versus Bivol is more of a 50-50. That ain't no.
It's preach. There's so many people that are sleeping on Bill.
Then you know what? That's something that interests me. Why are so many people more so crying about a fight, right? Like begging for a fight, pretty much. That they don't even feel is a 50-50 fight, and the same people don't like beg for 50-50 fights.
Because of the rivalry, because of the fans create, remember, at its base, the fans create a demand for the fight. You got a lot of people out there that want you to believe that Errol is better than what he is. That's what creates the desire to see the fight. That like he's not that good, bro. He's okay. And this was before the car accident. I said this. I liken him to Sergey Kovalev because he's a good fighter. He's good at what he does, but that's if he's in his comfort zone. Take him out of his comfort zone. He's not gonna last. Put him at 54. Put him at 54. He's not gonna last.
That's
Go ahead.
Well, I would just try to say that's just about any fighter though. You take him out of the comfort zone. I think
that's not true. That's not true.
Simply enough.
You can't say that about Chocolatito. You can't say that about.
You can because okay. Although I had him win in the first fight, you know, you can understand why, because he was so put out of his comfort zone. That's why he lost the fight.
What, with Sorung Visai?
Yeah.
No, he wasn't. He was doing what? Look, he was doing.
He was doing exactly what he does. He just got knocked the fuck out, bro.
Yeah.
There's a difference between being out of your. Hold on. There's a difference between being out of your comfort zone and being punched through a fucking wall.
Yeah, like
that's not what happened the first fight. I had him winning on the scorecards. It's just the fact of the matter is.
Oh, you're talking the first fight.
Yeah, the first fight, he hit him with that good body shot, and then he was like, okay, let me reel back a little bit. And he got headbutted like 10 different times and got cut.
But he was still fighting his style of fight. He just couldn't.
Yeah, but like I said, he was uncomfortable. It was a fight where it was really messy.
Bro, you said it yourself, right? You said that you scored the first fight for Choco, right, Battle?
Mm-hmm.
All right, then that's proven that he can leave his comfort zone because he was up there. He's up 3 divisions from where he debuted. He's up 3 weight classes, and he's still doing what he does.
There's a difference in boxing terms when you say out of your comfort zone and the fight being uncomfortable. Chocolatito was fighting his style of fight anyway. Out of your comfort zone is being forced to fight a different style. He didn't. That's what out of your comfort zone is. The fight was awkward and uncomfortable for him and vicious, but he was still fighting his type of fight.
Here's the thing, though. When you're talking about Chocolatito, I have no doubt in my mind that he can bang with people while people are banging with him. We saw that in numerous occasions already. It's just the fact of the matter is the fight was really rugged and it was really dirty in the sense that it was a lot of headbutts, a lot of, jockeying for clinches and stuff. That's what happened. And that's why we can say that's why the judges could see it going for Sorung Visai.
I felt that he was out of his comfort zone in the rematch. I mean, he threw less punches,
he got knocked down.
He knew not. He at least in the second fight, even though it worked out worse than the first fight, I think he realized, this guy's a strong puncher. I really can't trade with him as much as I can Quadras or somebody else.
That was one problem. That was a huge mistake because fighting Kit Kat up close, you're much less likely to get knocked out than you are actually at range. Because the more extension he has on the shots, the more likely he is to take your head clean off your shoulders.
Yep. Choco had the right idea, but he didn't implement it the right way. But he had the right idea that, don't trade with Sword. Don't punch with him. That's what he wants. That's what he needs. Don't punch with him.
And with the Sergey Kovalev comparison, honestly, I thought Sergey Kovalev is one of the most skilled fighters we had. It's just that, Andre Ward is just a super difficult guy to fight. I mean, I know a lot of people are going to be like, Kovalev can't take body shots, but you're talking about fighting Andre Ward. A lot of people can't really deal with Andre Ward.
Yeah. I mean, if we're going to talk Sergey's boxing skill, and I'm going to say this, and I think a lot of people aren't going to like it. I don't like Kovalev as a human being, you understand. But I think that Kovalev, jab for jab, Kovalev's orthodox jab is levels above Spence's southpaw jab. And I'm not going to argue about it.
Of course, yeah.
Wait,
Wait, what?
oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Kovalev's orthodox jab is better than Errol Spence's southpaw jab.
Kovalev in his prime, his jab is better than probably every active fighter right now.
Exactly. You know, probably with the exception of Triple G, but because
Speaking of which,
That jab's on another planet. Like, mate, that's the only guy I've seen be able to use an offbeat, on-beat, triple jab, double jab, selective jab to the body and upstairs, straight jab, stiff jab, whatever way you like it, he can do every type of jab. He's the only guy I've seen have that much variance on his jab.
I'm also gonna say, and I think that once again, a lot of people aren't gonna like it. Kovalev has a more nuanced jab than Triple G. He uses it a variety of different ways, whereas Triple G, he has a great jab. It's not that he doesn't, but he used it the same way in his heyday. He just throws it a lot. He punishes you with it a lot, but the rhyme and the reason behind it's good is he throws it a lot. That's it. He throws it a lot.
That's a pretty good way to interpret it too, because we know that secret move he does a lot. Because I mean, honestly, the first person I've seen do it was Pacquiao, where you would throw the jab, and then once as you throw your right hand, instead of just keeping your right leg on the floor, you would lift your right leg and then turn that left hand into a cross. You remember how he knocked down Cedric Agnew when he threw that little fake right hand through the power jab? He knocked him down. Like he has this little move that he does a lot of times where he turns his left jab into a cross.
I'm gonna start using sound effects whenever somebody says something smart. Shout out to Battle.
Oh, you've got a soundboard, this.
Sort of.
bro, I used to do this thing on I play video games a lot, so I had this soundboard. It was like this meme soundboard, and every time somebody asked a question, I would play the John Cena. He'll be like, "That question will be answered this Sunday night."
Chill, I might have to look into turning that into an MP3. I would love that. I just hope I don't get hit with a copyright strike, because WWE music is copyrighted. So if that if that shit comes on, I might get hit with a copyright strike.
John Cena versus The Undertaker. This week's Mega. Did y'all ever see that John Cena prank phone call? Funniest thing ever.
yeah.
This dude on Rival kicked me out because I was quoting Stone Cold Steve Austin on the panel.
So look, we got to get back to this Uga shit. Mark wants to cut Uga slack. I don't. I'm tired of it. At some point, you're responsible for what's happening. At some point, if Daniel Jacobs found a way out of that situation, having been the victor in the Peter Quillen fight, you can't convince me that those welterweights can't do the same thing if they wanted to. It's just that they don't want to. They don't want to.
I don't know if Danny Jacobs and him have the exact same contract, though.
Why wouldn't they? Why wouldn't they?
Because Danny Jacobs is smart.
Come on. Look.
Well, here's the thing, Ring IQ. I think one of the biggest things about Cuban fighters, and I hate to put them in this category, it's just that I think a lot of reason why a lot of them don't go far is that they couldn't make the very smart business decisions. Now, the thing is, when it comes to Ugas, it doesn't logically match up for me for you to take this lesser fight when you would have got paid more money in a title shot.
So you're saying he's being taken advantage of?
Well, I wouldn't necessarily go. I wouldn't necessarily.
You think he's being taken advantage of? You think that it's because it's the Johnny Foreigner thing, that he doesn't know what he's getting into? He doesn't understand that the WBA regulates.
It could be a chance that he doesn't know what he's getting into, but I wouldn't say that it's a exact opposite that he's getting taken advantage of. But
and this is what I think of that. Right? Fuck that. I'm not hearing it. I don't care. If Daniel Jacobs, Daniel Jacobs was a guy who they had a stake in the middleweight division. We can say that. They at least cared enough about him, and enough. And he found his way to another side of the street to take advantage of opportunity. So I'm not going to sit here and play a violin for Ugas and Danny and Errol and Keith and Sean and No, bro. Y'all don't want
No,
to.
but ring. But remember, PBC never had no network deal and things like that back then. They were shifting fights from network to network, so it was a lot easier to deal with them back
But
then.
they did have a deal. They did have a Showtime deal because they ended up renewing that deal in 2018. So they did have a deal. It's just that the fighters themselves didn't have network contracts, but they did
Didn't
have a network deal.
didn't Quillen and Jacob fight on Showtime?
Yeah. It was either Showtime or Bounce. I can't remember which.
But didn't they just buy Showtime? Like they bought a package from them. It wasn't like that was their network because they still had fights going on HBO.
No, what they had with Showtime, because they what they essentially did was renew the contract that they already had. They renewed the situation that they already had. At that time, I think PBC was bouncing around from NBC, or I think it was NBC. Then they had bounced over to Spike for a time. They was on Spike for a little while. Then primarily they started airing cards on Showtime, and then after that came the Fox deal, which is a simultaneous deal with Fox and Showtime. But it's been essentially the same situation. It's not like it was always just all the PBC fights are happening on one network. They've always been whoring themselves to whoever will buy their time. It's never been different.
Can I ask one question?
Go ahead.
This is just. Do you think it's because every last one of those fighters doesn't want to fight Crawford and make money, or do you think it's because the PBC doesn't want to give Crawford anything?
I believe it's both, but I believe the game changer is if you had a fighter who wanted the fight and said, no, I want the fight. I believe, Al, I can beat him. You have to convince, look, put it this way, that Al doesn't want guys crossing the street is a given. But the fighter themselves, if you can convince, like, Al, let me get him. I can get him. I can beat him if you want the fight. Now, if you don't want the fight, you just do what Al says.
But didn't Sean Porter do that? I mean, didn't he put his name in the hat? Like, yo, like I'll take that fight.
Sean
He did, and then he
reneged.
reneged.
He said now's not the right time for that. And when it comes to Sean, I treat Sean differently because Sean and Crawford are saying the same thing. That's a conversation that me and him need to have. That don't fall on Al. That don't fall on Bob. That fall on me and Sean. And the both of them, it ain't one way. The both of them are saying the same thing.
Can I ask an honest question?
Yeah.
What chance do you give Ugas of beating Terence Crawford on points on ESPN?
Not good. Not on points.
What chance do you give him at knocking him out?
What chance do? All right, now. I see your point, Mark, but I'm a rebuttal with this. What chance do I give Ugas of beating Spence on points on Fox?
Probably none. Same as yeah, I know, right? So, but at the same point, right? At the same point, just hear me out. Maybe I'm stupid. Maybe I don't know. The PBC would rather make money in-house than make a smaller portion on the opposite side of the street.
You know what? You might be right. But still.
No, I said something smart. Give me my round of applause. It was smart, even if you disagree.
But still. Look, we know what the game plan is, right? It's not that we don't. We know what the game plan is. What I'm saying is that there's no desire coming. We know what Al wants. We know what his commitments are. We know what the networks want. But I'm saying that there's no desire coming from the athlete, the fighter, to say, I'm not scared of Terence Crawford. I can beat him. Y'all want to hide them from him. You don't have to hide me. I can beat him. I don't see that. That's what I'm talking about. If you Ugas, bro, Keith is scared of him. Arrow is all banged up. We don't know what's going on with him. But if I'm Ugas, right, I see that, okay, I wanted Arrow for at least 2 years now. I know I didn't get him, and I'm not about to. But I can get the guy that's supposed to be the big fight, the big Arrow fight. Arrow is scared of you, bro, but I'll fight you. That's the marketing angle I would have took if I wanted to fight. Arrow's scared of you, bro, but I'm not. What's good? Put the money up. I come to your side of the street and beat your ass. Put the money.
What I'm wondering is why he's not fighting Jamal James for that title.
Because Jamal about to fight Dulorme.
No, I get that, but like Jamal's higher ranked than Abel Ramos in the WBA.
Yeah, but the Dulorme fight, I saw an announcement last week before this news about the WBA. I saw an announcement last week that Dulorme versus James has been rescheduled.
Okay.
Either
Okay,
that,
that
or
makes sense.
either that, or that they're working on it. But I saw that last week. Where was this news about the WBA and all of that? That broke this week, so that could be the reason. Ugas versus Jamal James is a way better fight than Abel Ramos.
Well, they fought before.
Oh, wait a minute. No, I got my wires crossed. You're right. I got my wires crossed. I don't know why I thought of Venice. I don't know why I thought of Venice. I thought of
John Ennis.
Yeah, I thought of Venice.
No, Ugas and Jamal James have fought before.
Yeah. I got my wires crossed.
When did they fight? Was it 2016? Yeah, I think it was 2016. It was who did Old Boy lose to? Yeah, Ugas lost to Amir Imam, and then he moved up to welterweight and beat Jamal James. What a good comeback, by the way.
Look, for what it's worth, him beating Omar Figueroa the way that he did should have heralded something bigger than Mike Dallas and Abel Ramos. Because that's the succession of fights. Omar Figueroa in one-sided fashion on the undercard of a pay-per-view to fight Mike Dallas on FS1 and follow up by fighting Abel Ramos for a baby belt. That's what they got you doing, bro. And you're not going to tell me that you ain't got the good sense enough about your job in your division that you don't know a Crawford fight is a bigger fight that gets you more money and it gets you a real belt, not a baby belt, a real belt.
Yeah, but you know as well as I do, Julius, and you've said this, the PBC, they value that regular belt more than the WBO ring now.
Only when they ducking Crawford.
There you go. They are ducking Crawford.
Oh, and MJ Akhmadaliev, because Omar Figueroa's little brother, he ain't never gonna fight that man. He ain't never gonna fight that man. He ain't never gonna. Is
he ever gonna fight Emmanuel Navarrete? Is he ever gonna fight Ray Vargas?
No, maybe Ray, and that's only because Ray's over there.
Wait, is Ray ever gonna fight anyone?
No. If you wanted to fight Emmanuel, you wouldn't have signed with the PBC, bro. If you wanted him. No, nobody's dumb. Ray's not dumb. You know why you went over there. You know why.
I've been saying that, yeah. I'm sorry. It's like I said this before, on BDA show. It's like the PBC is like a safe space for duckers, man. And it's like they keep proving my point. I don't know, man. They're on their own island.
Emmanuel Navarrete would end up fighting MJ before Ray fights either of them. Ray didn't go over there because he's so goddamn interested in unifying. Navarrete said not too long before Ray decided to go to the PBC. Yo, Ray has my number. If he want to unify, all you got to do is give me a call. The next news we hear coming out of that weight class is Ray Vargas just signed to the PBC. You know what time it is, bro. You know what time it is.
Yo,
isn't
go ahead.
But doesn't PBC have the most unification fights though?
No.
Or maybe at one point it did.
No, I wouldn't say that either. They're spaced out. I wouldn't say that. They're spaced out.
How many unifications did they have last year?
What was it?
You had Tony Harris. No, I'm taking it back. You had Porter and Arrow. You had
They don't have enough champions to have the most unification.
Let them keep going. How many did they have last year?
Let's see. I'm trying to think.
Work it out.
Come on.
I'm trying to think. Give me a second. Whatever.
I'm having fun with this.
I'll give you an idea. In the space of 2 months last year, the Zone showed 2 unification fights, and PBC showed 1 in the entire year.
Yeah.
That were actually unifications. A New Way versus Daenerys. What was that? It was a unification. Josh Taylor versus Regis Prograis.
Yeah, but that was Super Series though.
That's still
on the Zone.
What network was it on?
That's still the Zone. They had Rodriguez versus Inouye, then Inouye versus Donaire. They had Hooker versus Ramirez. PBC ain't got enough champions. PBC don't have enough. It's the weirdest thing. It's like a cosmic joke that their name is Premier Boxing Champions, but they have the least amount of champions. They have the least.
Okay, let's go back a year. 2018.
I want to ask you, Battle. Should we change their name to Premier Boxing Contenders?
That seems more suitable.
Yeah, probably. But okay, let's go back to 2018. How many unifications they had that year?
What was it? Hurd versus Lara.
Mm-hmm.
That was 2018.
Okay. And what else we have?
In 2018. All right. What other unification, if any? Nah, they did. That was it.
That was it. It was only one.
Look, in the last 5 years, as far as unification fights the PBC has put on, you're talking about Thurman versus Garcia in 2016, right?
Or 2017, I think.
And what was 2018? What was 2018 for the zone? Joshua versus.
Bro, the zone debuted late in the year. They debuted 9 months into 2018 in September. So that's an uneven playing field right there because the PBC had a whole 9 months to do something. The zone just got over.
You can compare. In that case, you can compare. You can compare it to Top Rank.
All right, Top Rank had what unification fights? Well, Top Rank did give us Better Be versus Vosdik in 2019. They don't really have. I mean,
He's asking about 2019 or 2018.
2018 Crawford and Dongo. Wasn't that 2018? Yeah,
2017. 2017.
That was 2017.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Crawford been at welterweight now 3 years.
And Crawford fought Horn in 2018, right? Was that? Or was it
Summer?
Yeah. So
I figured that out. It was summer 2017, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was his first fight at welterweight. It was in the summer of 2018, right?
I thought it was 2017.
2017.
Was it? That was his first fight at welterweight was in 2017.
I pulled up the box rec.
They wasting that man's time, bro.
Like I said, bro, he's been there 3 years at welter.
But I'm supposed.
Oh no, it was 2018. It was 2018.
That's what I said. It was 20. He fought Horn in 2018, bro.
Yeah, but you didn't say that. You said Ndongo was 2018.
2017, he was still a junior welterweight.
So in comparison, nobody really has the more unification fights around that time either. Not Top Rank or Matchroom.
Well, that's not about individual promotions. You're talking.
Wait. You're not being fair. If you're talking about across the board, Lomachenko, Pedraza, and we about to get another one, Lomachenko, Lopez. So Top Rank is putting out.
Lomachenko, Pedraza was 2019, wasn't it?
I'm saying you're talking about as a whole. Which boxing outfit is putting out more unification fights? Okay, PBC is putting out the least, not the most. Last year, Top Rank gave us Better Be versus Vosdik. They also was the Pedraza fight last year? Was that 2018?
I think it was
2018.
Was it 2018?
Right. So that's
okay.
2018.
All right. So Pedraza, Lomachenko, 2018. Better Be Vosdik, 2019.
Wait, the Pedraza foot. What network was that on? The Pedraza Loma.
ESPN.
What network was Golovkin and Canelo on? The second fight.
That
HBO.
was
Forgot about that.
HBO. The last pay-per-view they did.
Because you need to take HBO into consideration their battle, because HBO were still a factor.
Yeah, that's Top Rank still. So.
Not necessarily top. I mean, not when we talk about Golovkin and Canelo. That's gold.
Golovkin and Canelo, I would have thought that would have been Loeffler.
Yeah, that's Loeffler. That's Loeffler and Oscar. So the point that I'm making is out of all the outfits, the three major outfits here in America, right? The one putting out the least amount of unification fights is the PBC. They don't have enough champions to put out more unification fights. They don't have enough. This goes back to the conversation me and Mark had when we ran down an itemized list of the number of world champions they have in each weight class. They have the least. They don't have the most. I don't know why people think they have the most. What do they have at 175? What do they have at cruiserweight?
It's only because people
to
just
be-
think about welterweight and super welterweight. That's the only reason. Those are the only two they kind of associate them. So they just
I wouldn't even say
they've got
that.
almost all the belts there.
I wouldn't even say that. The divisions people pay the most attention to is probably the featherweights and the welterweights as far as right now.
They
And
got-
don't have the.
No, hold on. What are you talking?
No.
Casual fans don't watch featherweight boxing. Get the fuck out of here.
Right
That's true,
now,
they don't.
right now. If we're not, of course, we're not. If we're not talking about heavyweight, it's featherweights because the biggest names right now.
Bro, I'm gonna
biggest
be
name-
straight
That's
up
not
with
true.
you. I can walk up to 100 casual fans and ask them who Gary Russell Jr. is, and they're gonna slap me in the face.
Yeah, but
Most casuals don't watch
understand-
anything under welterweight.
But,
Most casuals won't.
I'm saying,
Besides Spence.
battle. Stop for a second. Look, mate. Like you cannot tell me more people watch the featherweight division than people are paying attention to the middleweight division when Canelo's the
no.
marquee guy.
He said in comparison to 154. Yeah, of course. There's probably going to be more people. So who's watching 154 except for Jamil?
They'll watch
Charlo?
154 because there's more chance of a
Charlo?
knockout
What about
for a
Charlo?
casual. That's all they care about.
That's what I said. I said who's watching 154 for anybody other than Jamil?
All I'm saying is PBC
An
has
entire country, the Dominican Republic, bruh.
Hold on.
Who are we talking
I'm
about?
gonna ask you a question, Battle. If Gary Russell and Leo Santa Cruz were top-ranked fighters, don't you think we would have got that fight by now?
No, because I'm convinced Leo Santa Cruz is just I don't know.
It
He's
would
just that type of.
bro. It would have been sink or swim for Leo because they don't play that shit. Like you're not just gonna be over here getting M's to fight Miguel Flores. No.
Julius.
Well, that is a good point.
Julius, what do people in your motherland think of Jason Rosario?
I have a poster of him in my bathroom.
You have a poster of a banana in your bathroom.
Mm-hmm.
No, of Jason Rosario. Don't make it sound gay by saying the man has a banana.
No, I'm just playing. Jason ain't no.
Okay. Let me rephrase. How about this? The most popular divisions are lightweight and welterweight as of right now.
That's true.
Lightweight, welterweight, outside of heavyweight, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because it wouldn't make a lot of sense for people to be paying attention to 160 right now. It wouldn't make a lot of sense for people to be paying attention to 154 or 140.
I'll say this, and maybe people disagree with me, but maybe I'm wrong on this. Whatever division Canelo's fighting in, more people are paying attention to that than are paying attention to any division outside of heavyweight.
That's
Just
fact.
because of Canelo.
That's fact.
Just
Yeah.
because of him. Because at the end of the day, yeah, there's you can go up to casual fans. How many of them are going to know Tiafimo straight away? Not many. Like I'm talking casuals, or even Loma. Some will know. You walk up to anybody who's watched boxing in the last 3 years and say, "Do you know who Canelo is?" They're going to be like that little ginger dude from Ireland, right?
Mm-hmm. He said Ireland.
From Ireland. That's what they say when you ask them.
Bro. He looks more Irish than I do, Val.
I'm saying, is that what people say? Because don't get me
Bro,
wrong.
I know some people in Ireland who've seen a picture of Canelo and said, "Who's he?" And I said, "That's Canelo." They're like, "Why has he got all those belts? Do we have a world champion in boxing?" No joke, bro.
But here's the thing, though. It's kind of a myth, though, because you're Irish. You can confirm. Isn't it kind of a myth, though, for a lot of Irish people to be ginger? Because isn't ginger itself like just a really rare, like, thing to have? A lot of ginger.
Well, I'll say this: I've got ginger pubes.
What the hell? Like, I don't need to know that. But
Yo.
TMI, man. TMI.
My hair is brown, my beard is black, and my
I thought more ginger people came from Scotland than Ireland. But
the
I may be
ginger
wrong on
gene
that.
originated in India, Val.
I have ginger.
Well, anyway, no, there's a lot of gingers. There's not a lot of gingers in Scotland or in Ireland, but there's a higher amount of them percentage-wise than anywhere else in both those places. There's a lot of gingers here, percentage-wise.
I'm just saying.
Joe.
I'm just gonna say this. I agree with Mark's point. Wherever Canelo fights outside of the heavyweight division, wherever Canelo decides to go, you'd sooner get more interest for that, and that's 175, 168, or 160, than you get interest at 154. That motherfuckers ain't hawking that division like that.
Yeah, it's a shame though, man. Like that was 154 was popping
It
back in
still
20.
is. It's still
Well,
is.
you know what I mean, because Trout was there, Laura was there. Uh, I mean, well, you kind of. I think Paul Wing was out of the division at the
Yo,
time, but
look. The PBC seems more invested in welterweight than they do 154, to be honest. But I think they should dedicate more attention to junior welterweight because there's great fights to make. Erickson Lubin versus Julian Williams is a sensation.
Junior middleweight.
Junior middleweight, yeah, that's a sensational fight. That's a great fight.
what's
It
Punch
is.
Drunk? Punch Drunk just put out a video that said Jamel should be over Errol Spence if he beats Jason Rosario, and I kind of agree. That makes it
What,
makes
pound for pound?
yeah.
No,
Yes, he
Why,
should.
why
no, I
not?
don't agree with that. And y'all know I don't like Spence. Like, well, y'all know that I'm not a fan of him, right? But Spence has Brooke, asterisk, but he has Brooke. Porter, he has that. He has a win over a pound for pound fighter, even though I don't think it's great, but it still is a win over a pound for pound fighter. And Mikey Garcia. Let's look over at Jamal. Jamal, what you got? What do you got?
Okay. Well, look at this. How many times has Errol Spence defended the belt? But
Quite
compared to
a few now. A few. He defended
what,
against
like four
Martinez.
times compared to how many? What? So okay, so this is what happened. Jamel, I think he defended the belt like 3 or 4 times before he lost it, and then he got it back. And then on top of that, he has the Tony Harrison win. He has the Trout win.
All right,
And
did
then
you rate the Tony Harrison win on the same
Look,
scale
can I
as
say one thing
Crawford?
real fast, Julius?
One
before
sec,
you-
Julius. Dan's backstage. He wants to jump back on.
I got him. I see him.
Before you go, I just want to say one thing. Currently, where Jamel sits in his entire career, he's beaten one active world champion,
That's
and
it.
that's the dude. And that's the dude who beat him.
Exactly. He won the WBC title when it was vacant.
Yeah, that is true. I mean,
Now I know what you're saying about like if he fights and beats Jason Rosario. Jason Rosario beat a dude who made no title defenses.
That's another thing.
yeah,
Julian,
but he did
Julian had
destroy
those titles
that.
in seconds. He had those titles.
But here's the thing though. It wasn't like okay. It's kind of like I was calling it upset city. Jared Hurd. Okay, he didn't beat the brakes off Laura, but he did beat him in the decisive victory.
Yeah.
J Rock as the underdog came in and beat this man to into embarrassment. Took that win, and Jason Rosario just came in and slept him. So that's a good win for Jason Rosario.
It's not that it's not a good win, but we're comparing one good win to some decent wins. The win over Porter, right? Porter held his title longer than Julian did. You know what I mean? So I'm like, yeah, nah. Spence has a strong.
But that wasn't that a controversial decision though?
Yeah.
And the fact of the matter is,
Hey, hold on. Look, before we get into it, even with the defenses, they both have 4 total defenses, battle.
Yeah, and he got it back. Remember? So I mean,
he may have got it back. Spence never lost it. Spence has 4 total defenses. He's unbeaten. He's never lost to anybody. He holds victories over former world champions and active world champions that is in total more than Jamal.
Yeah.
Or Jamel,
Yeah.
I mean, whatever way you want to slice and dice it, the answer really would be a no. Just thinking about it. Even if he were to pick up that.
Can we say Jamel's not far behind him, though? Can we say that?
We can't look if Jamel goes and beats Jason and has 3 belts, he would own more belts than Spence has ever done as well.
And that's a solid. And
another thing to it is he would have beaten a unified champion, which Spence has never.
Yes, and that's I say, look, Spence isn't on my list, so it's not even a question of who goes on it. That's not going to be enough. But Jermell, if he beat Jason, would not be that far behind Spence at all. He'd be he might be a little, depending on what's going on with Spence, he might be a little in front of him. If he's in possession of 3 world titles. But neither one of you are going to make the list off of that bullshit. Nah, we got no Nito Donaire to think about if he beats Ubali. Which one of you 2 fucking guys has a resume like him?
Wait, hold on.
So how much do you rate the Trout win, though?
I don't rate it.
I give it a 7.5.
That Trout was washed, bro. Come on, man.
He only
That's why I
got
give it a
beat like 2
7.5.
times. He only got beat like 2 times, though.
Prime Trout would have been a 9 out of 10. That's why everybody
Jamel fought him after Hurd slapped him around and ragdolled him, right? Or was that before? Was that Jamel? That was Jamel.
So was it 3 times?
It was 3 times, bro. Jamel had already got slapped around by Jared Hurd. No, hold on. Austin Trout got slapped around by Jared Hurd before Jamel fought him. And in the Jared Hurd fight, he looked over the hill. He looked washed. Jamel fought him after that and decisioned him. Like, no, bro, I don't rate that win.
He'd already lost to Canelo, Lara, Jamal, and Jarrett before he lost to Jamel.
Yeah, because he fought Jamal already. He had like 4 losses when he fought Jamel.
No, it was way off there.
Yeah, like, nah, I don't rate that win. Like, and look, I know Austin's tough. Like, so I give him credit for being as tough as he is, that he was still able to fight to a decision against Jamel. But I still feel like, yo, Jamel, if you was all that in a bag of chips, you would have stopped that guy, bro. Jared stopped him, and Jared ain't the biggest puncher.
Well, Austin in his comeback after Jamel, yeah? Bro, how good must he have been if after the comeback after that, if he was going in and drawing with Terrell Gausha?
That's true. God, that was an awful fucking fight. What matchmaker in his right mind decided to put those 2 guys? Like, bro, what do you want to make the worst fight? The visibly most aesthetically unappealing fight?
I know who made that fight.
Who made that fight?
Same dude who gave us Francis Bartholomew versus Robert Easter Jr.
It had to.
I was going to mention that fight. That was pretty bad.
It had to have been.
I didn't see the fight. It was that bad.
Bro, them dudes didn't do anything.
But let me explain it to you. Did you play The Last of Us 2?
I did. We should have a discussion about that.
I'm just going to ask you, did you? No, we're not having a discussion. Did you love it or hate it?
I loved it. But, you know,
right?
Yeah.
Right. Because you're a contrarian, right? But
no,
let's
no,
go. No, don't go and start giving me your explanation. I don't want your little
no, I wasn't.
No, stop, Battle. Stop. Battle, no. Shh. You know the way everybody else on the planet hated it?
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, so pretty much everyone else on the planet hated it. Right. So imagine you were one of those people, because that's how you will actually feel about that fight.
Bro, look, here's the thing. We should have a discussion on that. I didn't spoil anything. I didn't say anything about it. I didn't give my reasons to why. I don't want to even
think about the game.
Bro, we should. Why not just have this? We can look. This is a boxing panel where people have different opinions and we talk about things without getting upset. We should be able to do the same thing with The Last of Us Part 2.
Right? Can I tell you something?
Go ahead.
Have you ever seen a Serbian movie?
Oh my God!
A Serbian?
No.
I have not seen that.
No.
Are you comparing that?
I would recommend that you watch that movie and then watch the Francis Bartholomew and Robert Easter Jr. fight, because maybe then you'll have an idea of just how terrible.
That's an exaggeration. Now you're being hyperbolic.
He's being.
I'm not being hyperbolic. I think that's a very fair comparison. Watching those movies gave me as much trauma. Watching that movie and that fight gave me just as much trauma.
Hey, who has played the game in the comments, bro? Like, I want to does anybody love Last of Us Part 2? I just want to hear that.
Well, I'm not gonna say nothing about the ending, but as far as gameplay, I heard good things. As far as gameplay,
the gameplay is excellent. You know, it's fine. It's of course a lot of people are going to compare it to Uncharted, but it's not really fair to that's because one of the most interactive third-person shooters ever. Mm-hmm. But it's still really good gameplay. I love the story too. Don't get me wrong. There was a lot of story beats that I didn't like. I didn't like the ending, if I'm being completely honest, but I still like the story. And I think a lot of people are hating the game unfairly. Like
the ending of the game was worse than the ending of Game of Thrones.
It was not, but okay. But it really wasn't.
How? You compare Ellie to Daenerys Targaryen. And the way she fucking leveled fucking
that's
King's
not
Landing.
Even near bad. That's not even near as bad as Game of Thrones season 8.
Disagree.
Bro, you seen that? You knew the ending before it even came out, bro. Are you honestly telling me
I didn't know the ending before it came out because I didn't want to be spoiled. And then when I saw the ending, I threw my PlayStation in the bin.
No. I'm talking about Game of Thrones.
I didn't know the ending before it came out.
You messaged me about it, remember?
No, I don't remember.
Wow. I'm gonna find that hangout message where you
Oh, you
sent
talking
me.
about where I had the leaks?
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought those leaks were fake.
No, they were true.
Turned out they were true.
Did you not watch it? They were true.
Yeah, it turned out they were true, but I thought they were fake.
All right. Now let's address some of what's in the comments. 154 isn't trash. It's a fun division to watch. It's just that you can't say that these guys are pound for pound elites when there is no one who's head and shoulders above nobody else. Nobody stands out. Nobody.
It's a level playing field, and that's what I like about it. It should keep making
Nobody's
fights.
standing out because there's so many upsets. It was like 3 upsets in the span of like a year or two.
But that means that everybody's competing at or around the same level. That could be good, could be bad, but there's no standouts.
I'd rather see that than, well, maybe okay. I would just get the stance that maybe I would be the odd man out here. I'd rather have that stance than just one person just dominating everybody in the division. There's no competitiveness.
Well, I didn't say I didn't say it was a bad thing. I said it's a fun.
No. I said I probably might be the odd man out, but
it's a fun division. So it's not like there's fights that you could make there that don't involve world titles that would be great fights. Like Brian Castano versus Erickson Lubin. That's a great fight. Erickson Lubin versus Julian Williams. That's a great fight. Tony Harrison versus Brian Castano. That's a good fight. You don't even need a world title to get a decent, good, hard-fought fight out of that weight class. So it's not
Jarrah Horde versus Erickson Lubin.
That's a good fight.
I'd rather see
Tony
Hurd
Harrison,
versus
Brian Castano. That's a good fight.
Wait. Stop right there. Jared Hurd should fight. I think I would like to see Jared Hurd versus Rosario first. I mean, of course, he's going to have to get himself back into that position, but
that's a good fight.
That would be
fight.
Honestly. I mean, I would probably have that fight first.
Wait. If Jared goes out there trying to jab and shit, and that shit that he was doing, yeah,
but it's gonna work, bro. It's gonna work for him, bro. Let me tell you. Let me tell you. He's gonna outbox Jason Rosario because he's gonna outbox Jason Rosario.
Battle's laughing with a smile on his face. Battle over here, like I'm gonna. It's gonna work. I'm gonna tell you, it's gonna work. I'm gonna tell you how. He's gonna outbox him. I'm not gonna explain how. He's just gonna outbox.
Bro, Jason Wellborn was getting schooled, bro, by Jared Hurd, bro. Like, did you
Jason
see
Wellborn was punching the shit out of Jared Hurd.
I still look if Jared Hurd and he's not going to, which makes me sad. But if he could go back to being a pressure guy, there's still winnable fights out there. But this shit he's doing with Kate Karoma, I don't like this shit. I don't like this shit. It's too late to. Well, I'm not gonna say it's too late, but I don't like Jared Hurd trying to box. Just give me pressure, Jared Hurd. Give me a Jared Hurd that's gonna walk a guy down, lean on a guy, use his size on a guy. Give me that Jared Hurd.
Bro, people was asking me why I was so high on Tony Harrison, like around the time he fought Jared Hurd, after he fought Jared Hurd. I knew who he was, but like when I saw him get knocked out by
Willie
Nelson, I was just like, my God, man, like that was just one mistake and you just dropped like that. But
he's great. He just ain't got I mean, I ain't gonna say. Well, yeah, he ain't got a chin. He ain't got a chin. Not if.
So yeah. So basically, well, to be fair, 154 had some huge dudes, but when it came to the Jared Hurd fight, when I say I had him up 8 rounds, no, I'm sorry, I did it bad. I had him up 7 rounds, in that fight before he got knocked out. He was outboxing Jared Hurd. So
that's the story of Tony, man. That's the story of Tony.
Yeah, that's the story, man. He was just that. He's basically a Jimmy Young of today. Like gave the fits to like the highest people, but ended up never being that guy.
Wait, right? You're comparing Tony Harrison to the dude who retired George Foreman the first time?
No. You remember in the Ali fight when they was, he put his head through the ropes and and he was giving Ali a bunch of fits, but he never ended up.
Hey, bro, I remember more people thought Jimmy Young won that fight than people thought Ken Norton beat Ali.
Hold on. I'm just going to say this, and you guys aren't going to like it, but I'm going to say it anyway. Jason Bourne beats John Wick 7 days out of 7. I'm not gonna argue about it.
Bro.
I'm not gonna argue about it.
Bro, like all you have to do is get that black dude to be like Jesus Christ, Jason Bourne.
No, all right. You're not gonna get the drop on Jason. First off, they're not gonna make it to your house to kill your dog. They're not. It don't happen. I don't care if he's retired, because Jason Bourne don't retire. There's no off season for Jason Bourne.
Have you read all the books?
No.
And I won't spoil it for you.
Don't come in here talking shit about Jason Bourne, Mark.
What you mean? It should be. Aren't all the books based off the movies though?
All the movies haven't got everything from the books in them.
Well, here's the thing. All when it comes to John Wick and Jason Bourne, of course, it seems like John Wick is the better gun action, gun fu type of guy. But at the same time, Jason Bourne, when it comes to hand-to-hand combat, bro, this dude.
But it's not, look. There's nothing that tells me that Jason. No, look. All right, let me calm down, because I feel very passionate about this. There's nothing about John Wick that tells me he handles a gun better than Jason. You're not. You're fighting henchmen. That's who you're fighting. You're fighting foot soldiers. Jason is fighting other guys like him. Crazy guys that got that condition. That's
okay. So
Jason's only fought a couple of guys like him. There wasn't that many.
No.
John Wick's fighting other trained assassins. Come on now.
Base, stop it. In the first movie, the blonde guy that came over from Israel was a Treadstone agent. In the second movie, when he went to Dusseldorf and he fought the where is Gandalf, I much desire to speak with him. That was another Treadstone agent.
Wait, how did you say that fucking that place that he went to in Germany?
Dusseldorf.
I love that, man.
Man, like here's my thing.
I'm not done. He fought Dash.
Yeah, Dash was raw as crap.
And by this time, Jason Bourne is past his prime. He's over the hill. All right. And he fought another Treadstone agent, I think, in the fourth movie, not the Jeremy Renner movie, the other one.
Yeah,
you talking about Jason Bourne. It's not Ultimatum. Not Ultimatum. You talking about Jason Bourne. The movie called Jason Bourne.
That one. Yeah, I didn't.
Yeah, that was.
I watched it, but I didn't care about that one. Look, but that's free agents. Come on, we're talking about a next man who's fighting trained assassins.
He's fighting henchmen, dog. He's fighting henchmen.
Yeah, a lot of those are henchmen. If we're being completely honest, like even though, let's be fair here. John Wick fought some really tough henchmen at the end of John Wick 3, but let's be honest, it was stupid. Like there's 11, but. Hold on, like let's look at it. Look at it from a kind of realistic scenario, because John Wick is not really. But let's say it from a kind of realistic scenario. $11 million on a line, and you're giving John Wick breaks. Be like, it's a pleasure to fight you, John Wick. Like, are you serious? It's $11 million on the line. Why aren't you killing this dude?
You think a Treadstone agent is going to stop Jason and say, "Yo, you know what, Jason? I really respect you, and I like your. I really like what you've done with the place and your work. I really like that." Them Treadstone guys not playing them games. And you
guess what that means? Guess what that means? That means Jason's a nobody. John Wick was a celebrity in the game. That's why they paid him that much.
Yeah, but how many times?
No. I will mute all of y'all. I will mute. Look.
Can Jason Bourne fall off the roof?
No,
survive.
Oh my God! Get out of here!
No. I'm ending right now. John Wick had to deal with Jason Bourne's circumstances every single day. Is that he is being hunted? John Wick had to deal with that in 48 hours and barely survived.
Bro, let's not forget that he tries to pull out the rope break. I call it the rope break every time he puts his hand on the continental grounds where you can't kill.
Word.
Every like when he was fighting Common, he was like, it was like, gentlemen, you can't fight here. Now you want to drink? Now you want to drink? All right, cool. I got you.
I'm so glad. See, Battle's a Capricorn. That's what it is. It's because Battle's a Capricorn, so he knows.
I'm a Capricorn too. Don't try to use a star.
Oh my God. All right, Base. All right, Base. I'm just saying that ain't no rope break in Jason Bourne's world. It's 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year of whooping ass. John Wick had to go with that for 24 hours. He couldn't deal.
Julius, you love bringing up the Capricorn shit, don't you?
Goddamn right.
This dude talking about some Jason Bourne need to get on the treadmill. Like, god dang, what's wrong with you? Hey, bro,
Who's
Jason. Jason,
No,
did you see?
I'm just in it for the band because I love both of them still. So,
Bro,
I'm in it for the band.
did you see the part in Jason Bourne when he took the cop car and he was running from it? He literally like backed the car up into like the people. He like it did like the whole bumper like was like torn off, like a real bumper, and he was still driving it. Like that was, man.
All I'm saying is, look, John is good. I'll pick John to probably beat, let's say, I think Bond.
Beatrice Kiddo.
I think hand to hand, John Wick beats Bond. Is that fair? Daniel Craig Bond. Daniel Craig Bond.
No, that's not fair. That's not fair. You can't go saying that he beats Bond and then pick one of them. That's unfair because the truth of it is Bond always comes back. You may beat one, but eventually he's going to keep coming and keep coming and keep.
They have different universes, though, Mark.
They do. Daniel Craig Bond doesn't live in the same universe as Timothy Dalton.
Yeah, because it's not like a Triple X vibe where they're all in the same world, but they pick triple.
All right, fine. We'll go off the movie theory and not the book theory.
No, all I'm gonna say,
so what does the book theory say?
That he's a new person he's a new agent, but it's all the same universe.
All right.
Wouldn't it be easier to put him up against like someone from Kingsman or like the Mission Impossible franchise?
Talking about Eggsy?
No, I'm talking about what's his name? The other guy, the older guy.
Simon Pegg?
No, not Simon Pegg. It would be either Ethan Hunt from Mission Impossible, or it would be
Tom Cruise
Colin Firth's character. Yeah, or Colin Firth's character from Kingsman.
Look. All right, this how it goes down, fellas. John Wick beats Man on Fire, loses to Equalizer. Ethan Hunt.
Equalizer is just I don't like him. He's just too OP, bro. You ain't gonna be picking up people like this and just
look. Equalizer showed me more raw skill. He beat everybody up with Home Depot equipment. That takes skills, bro. That takes skills.
Jason Bourne would kick Equalizer's butt too.
No,
I mean,
I was gonna get to that. That look, you got Bourne is beating people up with a rolled up paper magazine. He is fathering sons out here. All right, so that's where Bourne is at. You roll up a Lifetime magazine, he's in your ass. That's where he's at with it. But I would pick Equalizer to beat James Bond. He beats Pierce Brosnan. I'll take that. He beats. I don't know
about Jack Reacher.
Jack Reacher is OP
get the
too.
Fuck out of here with Jack
Reacher is OP too, man. Oh my gosh!
Bro.
You remember he beat him up with his eyes closed and everything?
Come on, bro. Jack Reacher's all right. I mean, he's all right. He's in the conversation, but he's like.
I got a better one. How about this? Blade versus Beatrice Kiddo.
What? Come on, but that's not even a fair fight.
How is that not a fair one?
I'm a fair fight for you, Julius.
All right.
But it's different. It's not what you expected.
All right.
Your star sign versus my star sign, top 7.
What's your star sign?
Taurus.
I beat you. I'm Kronos. Bro.
I'm talking top 7 in boxing.
Oh, in boxing? All right. Well, all right. I got Ali. I got George Foreman. I got Joe Frazier. I got Usyk. I got plus I got Floyd Patterson. I got Bernard Hopkins, Roy Jones Jr. I mean, what do you want to do?
You have said. What am I working with? Sugar Ray Leonard, Sugar Ray Leonard, Sugar Ray Robinson, Joe Lewis, Sonny Liston, Vicente Saldivar, Jack Dillon.
Hey, one of my guys beat your guy.
Wait. How does this one work? This
and Coastal Galaxy.
How does this list work with the you say the top 7, top star? What is that?
I love 7 Capricorns, 7 Taurus.
His Tauruses can't beat my Capricorns. Roy Jones Jr., Bernard Hopkins. You gonna beat that? You're gonna beat that?
Sugar Ray Robinson and SugarRay Leonard and Joe Lewis.
That's all right.
Roy Jones could beat Sugar Ray Robinson.
Get out of here.
Yeah. He can. I'm legit. Okay.
Right. Hold on. He's gonna beat middleweight Ray Robinson.
He beats
Yes, he
middleweight
can.
Leonard. He beats middleweight Leonard. Don't argue with me.
He
Don't
he,
argue.
didn't he beat middleweight Hopkins?
Exactly.
So
Okay, Mark. We got to be fair here. That would be a 12-round fight, wouldn't it? If we're putting a fantasy fighting matchup.
okay,
Roy,
how many
15-round
first
fights.
of all, give me how many times was Bernard an undisputed middleweight champion?
Okay, I mean, but the fact of the matter,
Yeah, I'm not about to argue Bernard Hopkins against Sugar Ray Robinson. Get the fuck out of here.
I didn't I didn't say Hopkins versus Robinson. You heard what I said.
Roy Jones versus Ray Robinson.
Yes, Roy Jones could beat Sugar Ray Robinson. Roy Jones is just that skilled.
So Sugar Ray Robinson.
Here's the thing. I never said he was better than Robinson. I said he could beat him.
Look, based on what I read, because I've never seen, I've maybe, and that's a big maybe, seen one fight of Robinson at welterweight. And that's a maybe. In all likelihood, that was middleweight footage, right? You talk about welterweight Robinson, I don't know who can beat this guy, right? Welterweight Robinson. Middleweight, Roy beats him. And you're not going to argue with me.
What Capricorns do you have on your list that's a welterweight?
Oh, well, we can't do that then. I mean, we can't do that.
Who's your welterweight Capricorn? I've got Ray Leonard.
Oh, fuck you. Fuck you, Mark. You know damn well I'll pick Roy.
You can find somebody. Just give it a second. Hold up. So
welterweight Capricorns, who?
Yeah, we have to look it up. So I'm gonna find somebody in a minute. Watch Henry on something, be like a Capricorn or something like that.
Are there any boxers that are Pisces at all?
Yeah, there's a lot.
But you know what? Since you want to throw Roy in there, Roy did better at light heavy than he did at middle, right? So
he did.
How about your Roy versus my Bob Foster?
Oh, fuck you.
I think my Bob Foster's going to break his skull.
Roy could be.
Go ahead and get Bob Foster. You don't beat Roy at light heavyweight, not prime Roy.
Why wouldn't Roy?
Well, tell me. Hold on. Hold on.
Hey, what about Felix Trinidad? Trinidad?
Calm down.
Yeah, he was a Capricorn, right?
Okay, so there's your welterweight.
Whitaker.
Calm down. You calm down for a second. It was meant to be 7 against 7, not 15 against 7. Right? You calm down.
Roy Jones can beat Bob Foster at 175.
Pernell Whitaker.
Hey, how did I forget? Oh my God, how could I forget Sweet Pea? Look, bro, you can't fuck with us. You can't fuck with us. It takes a Capricorn to beat Capricorn.
Bro, I've got the most consensus number one.
All your arguments are void because we have Derek Chisora, and Derek Chisora beats everybody.
We have Derek Chisora?
Wait, hold on. You immediately lose. Hold on. Julius, you immediately lose because I just found out that Battle is a Capricorn.
No.
Wait
that contradicts everything.
No. Derek Chisora is a Capricorn?
He's on the Capricorn list. Yeah.
I'm so happy. So we got David Lemieux, Gabe Rosado, Derek Chisora. We even got the best journeyman. Shout out to Kevin.
Yeah, but Julius, I've got Tony Yoka.
Well, so what? What's he done?
Tony
So what? So what? He hasn't done anything yet.
Bruh.
Andrew Galotta.
Bruh.
He wins all fights. He wins all fights by nothing.
Our women beat you as well.
Bro, I got Kozoi Galaxy.
Andrew Golota will make sure that you do not have kids.
Bro, I'm supposed to fall out of my chair.
Oh man,
I'm supposed to fall out of my chair that you got Kosei Galaxy when I have Ali, Foreman, and Frazier. Like, come on.
No, hold on. You're supposed to fall out of your chair when you find out like Joe Lewis. I've got Sugar Ray Leonard and Sugar Ray Robinson.
All right. You're right. That's good. That is good. I'm not gonna lie. That is good stuff. That's real good stuff. It is.
But he already has Ali though.
Yeah.
Okay. And let me ask you a question, Battle. Who did more heavyweight?
That's fair.
Between Joe Lewis and Ali. Between Joe Lewis, Ali.
No. He's not wrong. If we're talking about who did more, Joe did, but who has?
I would say that.
You don't think Joe did more than Ali?
No. I mean, are you talking about are we going off just the title defenses?
Yeah, most title defenses.
No, I mean,
25 title defenses.
I mean, yeah, but I mean, are we going to get? Are we going to say Vladimir Klitschko is the top rated because he has the highest title defense? I mean, it's got to count for something when you actually beat good competition. Ali beat the best competition.
That's that goes without saying. Look. Let's just stop here. Jason Bourne beats all these guys, and that's all I was.
No. There's someone Jason Bourne doesn't beat. There's someone Jason Bourne doesn't beat. Jason Bourne does not beat Rama from the Raid films.
Before we continue, I want to get off of this misconception that Ali beat better competition than Joe Louis. And the only reason I'm going to ask you this, battle, right? A simple question: how many Hall of Famers did Muhammad Ali beat?
Okay, so you got Patterson, that's one.
4.
You got Sonny Liston. You got Joe Frazier. You got George Foreman. You got Henry Armstrong. I don't think Ken Norman's a Hall of Famer though.
Did you just say Henry Armstrong?
No. You know what I meant. Not Henry Armstrong. Archie Moore. I'm sorry. I don't know why I got those confused. Bob Foster. I'm not sure if he's a Hall of Famer, but I'm missing somebody. It's got to be somebody I'm missing. Did I mention Joe Frazier already? I already mentioned Joe Frazier, didn't I?
Yeah.
I think I'm okay. I named 6, but I think it's 7.
Okay.
So
you know how many Joe Louis beat?
He beat Jersey Joe. He beat.
Want me to just give you the number?
Go ahead.
Give him the number.
8.
Who is the 8?
That's not that much more though.
No, but he actually beat more. He actually beat more Hall of Famers than Ali.
Who was the 8?
Who was the 8th? For Joe Louis?
Yeah.
Well, he beat Jimmy Bivens.
Mm-hmm.
Hold on. He beat Jimmy Bivens. Let's go off head. Beat Jimmy Bivens, Jersey Joe Walcott. He beat Billy Conn.
Yeah. See, how was okay? Well, what did?
He beat John Henry Lewis. He beat Max Schmeling. He beat James J. Braddock.
Yeah, James.
And he beat Jack Sharkey. And he beat Max Baer.
Okay, now I'm going to tell you this, Mark, and you're not going to like it. You're not going to like it. Muhammad Ali's Hall of Famers wiped their ass with Joe Louis's Hall of Famers. Don't fucking argue with me. You don't think
and how about this?
You don't think that George Foreman would have beat Billy Conn and James Braddock?
Maybe he would have, yeah.
And here's the thing, though. How is
I don't know that Joe Frazier would have beat Max Baer.
Why?
By the way, I got.
Well, here's the thing, though. Is Max Schmeling mostly only in the Hall of Fame because he was the first guy to beat him?
Go and look at Max Schmeling's resume and then find out.
I mean, well, you're selling him, so I'm just asking.
I'm just saying that 5 guys out of 5 guys on Ali's Hall of Fame opponents list beat most of, if not all of, Joe Louis's Hall of Fame guys.
I can say that you can make that assertion, but you can never prove that.
You're right.
But I can prove that more of Joe Louis's opponents had careers that got them into the Hall of Fame than more of Ali's opponents.
That's tough. That's tough.
That's fair.
Sonny Liston was a real guy before Ali came along. Sonny Liston didn't make it in there because of Ali.
No.
George was a real guy. I mean, yeah, you know, it has a lot to do with it. But his second phase also, you know, fuck that shit. Ali, motherfucker.
Sonny Liston was a legitimate tough guy, though, and he was one of the few guys that could back up Big George. A lot of guys couldn't make Big George move back.
Well, he helped make George what he was. He helped make George what he was.
Yes, he did.
Was Schmeling only there because of that? Like, Schmeling actually beat 2 Hall of Famers before he ever fought Joe Louis.
And I'll take that. If you tell me that they got there off their own merits as opposed to the fight that they had with the guy, then I'll take that.
Well, yeah, Schmeling are beating some good guys, man.
Now, back to my point, and I'm gonna leave it alone because I got to get back to Ugas, and y'all keep trying to stop me from shitting on Ugas, but I see what you're doing. All right,
Mama from the Raid.
All right, now back to my John Wick beats no. Jason Bourne beats everybody. That's settled.
Except Rama from the raid. You keep trying to avoid him. Rama beat the brakes off of Jason Bourne.
Fuck that bullshit. Fuck that shit. Look, like back to my point because it needs to be said. No, fuck that shit. It needs to be said. We can't give Ugas a pass for this. You're literally choosing to prioritize. You're prioritizing a baby belt and a fight with a no name. Like that's really like, and we supposed to take that? No.
Wait a minute, though. Let me ask one question. All right, I understand you don't respect that very much, but is that baby belt just a stepping stone to have a little more, something more in order to go to a Crawford fight?
No, because it's not gonna mean nothing in a Crawford fight. It's not. You can't unify a baby belt with a real belt. You can't. It won't be a unification fight.
Because I don't think Ugas is scared of Crawford at all. I mean, he has a. If anything, he has a mental advantage because he beat him before, even though it was in the amateurs.
Look, it's not the kind of fear, right? It's not the kind of fear to where you're crying in the bathtub and you're trying to figure shit out. It's not that kind of fear. It's not because it's not that kind of like, oh my God, Crawford keeps me up at night. I think he does that to Danny Garcia, though. I do think that. I genuinely think sometimes in Danny Garcia's day, Crawford crosses his mind and he shudders, and I genuinely believe that. I hope. Ugas has a couple of losses, so he's not about protecting the O. He's not about protecting the O. He has that. He beat him in the amateurs. He has that. But he's looking at the situation and he's telling himself, I stand to make some money comfortably with this WBA baby belt. If I go fight Crawford, all the momentum that I've garnered up until now is lost because he might beat me. And if he does, where do I go from there? I already got 4 losses. I'm already 34 years old. This dude beats me. It's a wrap for me.
I think he'd be better off fighting Spence.
Spence don't want to fight him. Spence needs to get his name up. 34 years old and Spence said, get your name up. You know what you're doing, Spence. You know what you're doing.
Spence don't want to fight Crawford either, man. I'm sorry. Spence was good, but right now he's such a big question mark, and we don't know where he's at.
He's disappointed me because I used to be a Spence fan. I used to be a Spence fan, believe it or not. If you go to relay videos from 2017, 2016, and before, I used to be a Spence fan. I believed in him, and he failed me. And I'm not.
I guess that Capricorn pass only gets you so far, isn't it, Julius?
Well, I mean, what the hell? What the hell?
Who, if you were to name a boxer who you were a big fan of, but you're kind of ashamed to admit you're a fan of now, who would it be?
Keith Thurman.
Who?
I used to be a fan.
Yeah.
Deontay Wilder.
All right.
I'd say the worst. If I'm being like, I'm trying to think like who did this.
What was the question?
If you had a go ahead.
A fighter who you were a fan of that really let you down, that you're embarrassed that you were a fan of them.
Felix Verdejo.
Really?
Yeah, that's a good point. That is a good one. But I mean, he got injured, so I mean,
it's not that. It's that he never got off.
Amir Imam. Like I was huge on Amir Imam when he was outboxing Walter Castillo on Showtime. I thought he was going to be the next big thing, and then. I mean, granted, he had tough competition. That's not really his fault. It's not like he really did anything bad. It's just that his competition was getting, kind of harder. He had to fight Adrian Granados, and he had to fight Jose Ramirez.
Actually, I'll give you one that I'm genuinely embarrassed about. Genuinely. Julius and Dongo.
Really?
Why?
Yeah. Bruh, the way he fucking annihilated dudes and shit just before getting into the ring with Crawford had me convinced enough to put some of my own money down on him against Crawford.
All right. Now, yeah, I'm not. Look, I was never a Chris Eubank Jr. fan, right? I still think he has potential, but I am. If we're talking about things that embarrassed us, I was embarrassed that I picked him to beat Groves.
I was embarrassed I picked Huey Fury to beat Povetkin.
You did that?
I did too. Don't
oh my
even.
God. How do you
It
guys work it
happens,
out?
Julius, it happens. Look, mate, I predict nearly every fight, mate. Yeah, I've got a 91% conversion rate. Yeah,
Let me take
sometimes
that
it
back.
goes wrong.
Let me take that back. I picked Huey Fury to beat Andy Ruiz, which is kind of unfairly, but
I'll say all right, a prediction
no,
that
not Andy Ruiz. Who was it he fought? Was it Parker? Yeah.
somebody's got two tabs open.
What's your most embarrassing prediction? Like where you got it completely wrong, like totally wrong.
Jamel versus Erickson Lubin.
Tabiti, Dorpicos.
You predicted Tabiti, didn't you?
Yeah.
Mine is worse. Ring IQ is the Jamel versus Lubin.
Really? You picked Lubin?
Yeah, I picked Lubin.
I don't blame him. At that point, that was a 50-50, right?
I went Jamal because and I've said this in other lives. The video's still up for those interested in it. Lubin hadn't fought the right journeyman for me, so I didn't trust him. He's now starting to fight the guys that he should have been fighting before he fought Jamel.
Like Antonio Gallimore.
Antonio Gallimore, Ishe Smith. Did he fight Ishe? Was that?
Yeah,
he fought him after. I think he fought him after.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. That he's having the fights that he should have had before. Now that he should have had before he fought Jamel.
Interesting question here. What did you guys have? Ishe Smith versus J-Rock.
I'm gonna be honest. I don't know that Julian really won that fight, but it is what it. I mean, he didn't look good.
So you may have had Ishe, is what you're saying? Maybe.
Perhaps it was a lot. If I don't know nothing else, he had to work for it much more than I thought he would have had to. That's what I felt. Like, yo, this should have been over already, bro. I don't know what the hell's going on here. The funny thing is, he looked all right against Gallimore. Julian looked all right against Gallimore. He looked, I don't know what, against Ishe. That is consistently inconsistent. He's one of those. He's in the James DeGale boat.
I think I got one. What is the most impressive boxing performance you've seen? Like, I'd say recently, like the past decade.
Anui immediately came to mind. He really impresses me when he's in there. Like I'm literally taken back by. I was impressed in the Payano that he just first 1-2 he threw out there. First couple of punches he snapped out there. It's over. Same with
maybe Loma against
Gary Russell.
Oh shit! No, not against Gary Russell. Against
Crawler.
No, no, not Crawler.
Linares?
The Cuban, I forgot his name.
Rigondeaux?
Yeah, Rigondeaux, yeah.
I wasn't impressed by that because that's what I thought was gonna happen. I didn't think Rigo was gonna quit, but I thought it was gonna be one-sided. That you're out of place, bro. You're old, you're little.
Actually, I was impressed with Loma's stoppage of Linares, man. I didn't think that was gonna happen.
You thought Loma was going to get stopped, basically.
No, I didn't. I just thought it was going to be. I thought Loma might win, but I just didn't think he was going to stop Linares like that. I felt Linares was too seasoned, and boy, he took him out with that body shot.
I'm going to say what impressed me about that fight. It wasn't that I thinking he would or wouldn't stop him. It's that he got off the canvas and stopped him. That impressed me in the middle of the fight. That he got off the canvas and stopped the dude, and this was his first fight at the weight. So that impressed me.
Like AJ versus Klitschko?
That I was floored by that. Dog, when I watched that fight, dog, it was like watching two Titans fight. That was such a great. Oh my God.
AJ and Klitschko is one of those fights where I think anybody who was watching it got emotionally invested during the fight.
Yeah,
that is a very good point.
It really pulls you in because it's got so many up and down moments that your heart starts racing. It's one of the few that can do that to you.
And funny enough, people was
Walker Smith Jr. brought up a good one. Usyk actually really impressed me in the Gassiev fight. That really, like, he was.
And you know what? I shamefully picked Gassiev to win that one.
Nah, it's okay if you pick Gassiev because Gassiev beat the dog shit. Like, bro, it was okay.
Julius, didn't you pick Gassiev?
Hell no, I picked Usyk.
Okay.
I didn't think it was gonna be like that.
I'm trying to remember who it was. Someone who I have a lot of time and respect for actually picked Gassiev.
I think it was The Wire. Did you pick? I think. Do you
No,
watch
I
The
said
Wire?
someone I have a lot of respect for in terms of their boxing analysis.
Oh, come on.
No, I love The Wire. Listen, no, Julius. I'm gonna say this right now. I watch more of The Wire's videos than I watch of my own.
I love The Wire.
You want to know what's fun? I was really invested in Marcus McDonald versus Amir Khan because although he was supposed to be the toughest guy in the ring, he got put down by Amir Khan.
That was a great performance.
Actually, to be honest, that may be one of the most impressive things I've ever seen in boxing. Not the fact that Amir fucking beat him or anything. The fact he made all 12 rounds with Marcus Maidana is fucking scarily impressive considering how bad his chin is.
Yes.
Actually, you know what fights I got totally wrong and I'm shocked was the David Haye Tony Bellew fights. Both of them.
Yes,
I
me
got
too.
both of those horribly wrong.
I predicted both of them right.
I got both of those wrong. I have.
You predicted David Haye was going to get his ankle twisted?
No. I predicted Bellew would win by stoppage. I thought David Haye was carrying an injury in the first fight as well because when I was watching before the fight and I was watching him in the ring, he wasn't leaning on the ball of his foot. He was keeping everything off of his heel, so he's leaning way over. And I was seeing that there was a problem, at least with either his calf or his heel, and I felt it would affect his movement and Bellew would win, so I bet money on him.
I got a question.
Workouts.
No, I want to ask y'all a question, and then I'm gonna let you go, Virtuoso. I'm gonna pose this to everybody. When you saw what Gennady Golovkin did to David Lemieux, were you impressed?
No.
All right.
I was.
No.
All right. What about you? Was you impressed?
I was, honestly.
You was?
Yeah, because I thought that was going to be a tough fight. Like, I think, as much. Give me a second.
All right. Basic Kid, was you impressed by that, or was it everything you thought it was going to be?
No, I thought it was pretty much how I saw it going, to be honest. I didn't think Lemieux was that great, and he did what he was supposed to do, really.
All right. What about you, Dan? When you saw that fight, was it what you expected, or was it much easier? So much so that it was impressive because I thoroughly enjoyed watching David's hair flop back and forth like that. That was great stuff.
Well, I mean, it was a little easier than I expected, but I kind of expected it to go that way. I knew Golovkin was going to win. I wasn't super impressed, but I mean, I figured he was going to win, but it just went easier than I thought it was going to go.
All right. Now back to Virtuoso. What was you going to say?
No, I was just gonna ask. I mean, I was kind of surprised. I really thought that Lucas Matisse was gonna give Danny Garcia the fits, man, and it turned out a lot different than what I was expected. Danny really boxed his ears off.
Yeah,
and they gave him that fucking swollen eye.
Yeah, I have to admit that in that fight, I was impressed with Danny, but that's because my opinion of him was very low. Like
speaking of Danny. Let's give a very impressive performance shout out, right? To Mauricio Herrera.
Yes.
And that did shock me and surprise me at how badly he beat him at that point because Danny looked good at that point, you know what I mean? He was looking pretty good and Mauricio beat the fucking piss out of him.
Yes. I think that fight changed the trajectory of Danny's career. I think that the effect that watching Danny in that fight, I think they decided that's one of them fights where they decided we got to be more careful with this guy. We got to navigate more carefully. Another performance that impressed me. What's a performance that impressed me? Thurman versus Porter comes to mind. I was impressed with how Thurman handled him. I felt he handled him better than Brook.
Who? Thurman versus who?
Porter.
No, I thought that fight was kind of how I thought it was going to go. It didn't overly impress me. I thought it was a good win, but it didn't overly impress me. It was kind of exactly how I felt it was going to go. And I thought it was a decent job. Although, to be fair, beating Porter by anything more than a round is kind of impressive because nobody seems to beat him by more than a round.
Yeah.
What about Kell Brook? Didn't he?
I think if you rewatch Kell Brook versus Porter, it's not exactly the masterclass a lot of people make it out to be. You could make a lot more arguments that Porter could have got a draw against Kell Brook than you could against Thurman if you watch the inside game.
In the hierarchy or the tiers or whatever, I would say Brook and Thurman handled Sean about even. Sean had moments in both of those fights.
Yeah, they handled them better than Spence did.
That's what I was getting to. They handled them better than Spence did, the both of them.
Actually, what I was impressed with was the way Brook was more of competition for Spence. I thought he was going to be less, and he gave Spence more of a challenge, even though he lost.
Now, Dan, that was everything. That was what I was expecting. I didn't expect that he would hurt him to the body the way that he did. That's still seared into my brain. But that's the fight I was expecting. Like, bro, I don't think Spence is going to keep this guy out. I don't think he's
I mean, if
Kel's
we're being
too strong physically. Because that dude, think about it. Kel was physically strong enough, and not only physically strong enough, he was actually physically stronger than Michael Zarafa.
Yeah, he was.
Here's my thing though. When it comes to a lot of prospects, unless we're just talking about the prospects that end up being like the greats, like the all-time greats, like. A lot of the times, prospects usually struggle in their step-up fights a little bit, and then they have to get their feet going and stuff like that. When it comes to Errol Spence, the step-up fights he had, almost everybody, in my opinion, that I thought would give him a little bit of a challenge. They end up fighting really stupid, like Lamont Peterson just putting his hands up the entire time. Or,
yeah. Lamont didn't want to move. I didn't understand that. I thought the only way I can explain what Lamont did is maybe Lamont thought I have to try to push Errol back. So I'm going to try to stand my ground. It was stupid plan, but that's why I think he did it. Should have just.
And then you have Chris Algieri, who he turned like kind of like heel in a sense and went all aggressive. And with Errol Spence, he wasn't doing none of that. He wasn't fighting aggressive at all.
Well, Chris didn't move enough for me. I thought Chris was going to move a little more than he did. But you know. I mean, in the greater scheme of things, and nothing against Chris, but how much am I supposed to read into you beating him? You know, like, man, I didn't think about that fight that hard to where I'm gonna be impressed. The only thing that could have happened in that fight would be underwhelmed. Thankfully, Spence beat him in the fashion I thought he would. So, but it wasn't impressive. I wasn't impressed.
I was impressed. I mean, it was a good. I mean, he came out there and just blew the dude out. I didn't expect anybody to blow out Chris Algieri like that. I mean, I didn't think Chris Algieri was
the premise that he kept getting up in the Pacquiao fight. I mean, that's what I mean. Like,
not just that, the Provodnikov too. But
yeah.
He appeared tough to me. If anything, he was just a type of person to get knocked down frequently. But he did destroy Chris Algieri.
Right, how about this one? Yo, straight up, what's your favorite fight of the last decade?
That's too hard.
That's hard.
I love Mavis Bradis versus Usyk comes to mind. That was a great fucking fight.
That was a great fight. I saw that fight live, and when I say I was like really like, oh, when he fell through the ropes.
Yeah, that was a great. But also Inouye Donaire. Remember, if you was here in the States, you was just waking up. So I made my coffee. I go to my app. I put it on. I'm like, yo. You know what I'm saying? Because the fight's coming. It was.
I was commentating on it live, Julius.
It was perfect, bro. You wake up and you see a fucking fight like that. It was perfect,
bro. I was screaming towards the end of that fight.
What's the time frame again?
Last decade.
The last decade. Okay,
so that's 2010 to 2020
to 2019.
Oh, 20.
Bro, you can't put anything from 2020 in there. What are you gonna do? Put Mikey Garcia versus Jesse Vargas in there?
I would just try to expand it out. You know?
That was the best fight of 2020, obviously.
That's
all right. Do you know what?
That was a sensational fight.
No, do you know what? This isn't my favorite one, but it's up there only because Tony Bellew got knocked the fuck out. So the fight against Usyk, that's one of my favorite fights to watch.
Why don't you like Tony
Bellew get? Huh? Oh, I can't stand him.
You don't like Bellew?
No.
Most people over here don't like Bellew.
Why don't they like Bellew?
Because he's a fucking knob.
Oh, all right.
Okay. Mine is Pacquiao Marquez 4.
Yeah.
I love that fight.
That's a great.
Because I'm actually Like, I'm a hardcore Marquez fan, right? I fucking adore Juan Manuel Marquez, right? The way Manny Pacquiao's laying down face down in that ring is one of the most sexually pleasing things I've ever seen that wasn't
Right.
pornography.
This is
You're
a
a sadist.
bro. This is a
I'm not gonna tolerate this Pacquiao beef. I'm not gonna tolerate it.
I mean, they had a cake, man. I mean, damn.
That cake is
bro,
amazing.
bro. Like you want to know, bro. Look, you want to know
Sweetest
how many.
victory.
You want to know how many people kept saying he's not getting up, Jim. He's not getting up. Like we get it, bro. Can you stop saying that?
Murata versus Brandt. Great revenge fight.
What about what about did you see Orlando Salido versus what is it, Miguel Roman or
Mickey? Oh yeah, I predicted that. I predicted Mickey was going to retire him. I said Orlando should have took the goddamn money for the Loma fight. You'd have got beat, but you would have made more money.
I didn't think he was gonna blow through Salido like deep, like.
Bro, Mickey, look, man. I took one. I did some film study on Mickey before that fight. I'm like, bro, Orlando ain't making it out of this fight, bro. He ain't making it out of this fight.
What about Bradley versus Provodnikov?
Great. Oh my God, Sensei. Oh my God.
Sloppy but exciting.
Yeah, it was sloppy,
I like
man.
that it was
Bradley
sloppy.
Bradley was
that
throwing
it
the
was
most
sloppy.
craziest shots.
I like that it was sloppy, that these guys are all over the place. I like the clinching and the wrestling and the infighting and the smacks instead of
Exactly, man. Like, what the hell? Oh, sloppy. Oh, it's sloppy. Ooh, great fight, but sloppy. Yo, bro, do you say the same thing with your board?
Sometimes.
Great,
But anyway.
great throw game. Too much spit.
Hey, what about when Adonis Stevenson got knocked out?
Nah, that
I'll
fight is
be
too hard
honest,
to
that
watch.
can't
That
be
fight
one
is
of my
way too
favorites
hard.
just because
That's
dude
too
got
hard.
put in a wheelchair.
That is too hard to watch, man.
Well, actually, that's not fair because my favorite fight actually of all time is Nigel Benn versus Jared McClellan. And I know it's sad to
Are
say
you
this, I've actually
serious?
watched that fight 200 times.
Jesus Christ.
Oh,
I
that
don't
is a
know
great
what
fight.
it is. I
fair.
don't know what it is about watching that fight and knowing the outcome, but I'm completely immune to it.
Bro, the thing about that fight, I'm not trying to say that he deserved the victory, but if when it came to most referees, if you knock somebody out the ring like that, they're probably going to be like, bro, like I don't think you continue, but they let him continue, so I don't know.
Well, he was able to continue because he fucking nearly
He
killed the man.
did, but I'm saying most referees don't.
Most
I mean,
referees might have done it, but looks like he made the right call. For Ben's career, not for
because
Gerald's.
he came out the first round. He slept him. No. The dude was out for a second. You seen when he was slumped up against those ropes, right?
Okay, he may have been, but he was still able to continue.
But I'm saying though, like he was literally slumped.
Battle. I'm gonna ask you this question. Clearly, he wasn't like you're saying. Clearly, he was out cold. Clearly, he was unable to continue. Right, but at the end of the day, he was clearly able to continue based on the fact he nearly killed him.
I'm not questioning the referee's decisions. I mean, I'm glad he gave him a chance. I think some referees don't give people a chance. I'm just saying, I think a lot of referees would have stopped it though.
So who are you criticizing? That referee or every other referee?
No. It's just a thought. It's not criticizing. It's just that's initially what I thought. Because you remember the first time I saw that fight, I was like, okay, well, short fight. I mean, and then like he came back and I was like, okay, well, not short fight.
Well, you know what, Battle? Nigel Benn killed that man's career.
Oh yeah.
All right. I got a question. Were you guys impressed with how Dillian White handled Oscar Rivas? Were you impressed?
No.
No? What about you, Virtuoso?
I barely saw that fight. I was like, I had to deal with all this, glitchiness, being that I saw it streamed, so
All right.
I didn't like it.
All right. What about you, Battle? Impressed or not impressed?
I mean, yeah, he kind of showed that he was, he had a decent heart. He got knocked down, but that's about it mostly.
I was impressed with his jab. I'll be honest. How much he was able to control the fight with his jab. I was impressed. I
wasn't. I thought I kind of felt that's exactly how the fight would go, other than being dropped, and that's kind of what stopped me being impressed.
All right. What about you, Basic Kid? Was you impressed? Not impressed?
I was more impressed retrospectively after finding out what he was dealing with, but watching the fight, I thought it was a bit sloppy. The jab was good, but I thought it was a bit sloppy. But then when you find out what was going on afterwards, I was like, okay, you know what? That's not bad.
All right. What about you, Dan? Impressed? Not impressed?
Nah, I wasn't impressed. I kind of expected him to beat him myself, but nah, I mean, it was a good fight, but I wasn't super impressed by it.
All right, now I'm gonna pose a question to the panel. I want to pose a question to the panel. Out of the one-sided beatings that we've seen the last, let's say, 5 years, which one did you enjoy more? Smith Jr. versus Hart, Murata versus Brandt 2?
Smith Jr. versus Hart.
I go Murata. Because it shocked me how he was fucking him up. It shocked me.
Yeah, that was pretty entertaining. That was pretty darn entertaining, man. That dude came out there to fight.
Hey, by the way, not to get off subject, but I just want to say rest in peace to Charlie Daniels. He died today, man.
Oh, rest in peace, Charlie Daniels, man.
Yeah.
You know, the devil went down to Georgia.
And rest in peace to Ennio Morricone.
Battle, you got two tabs open. All right. Let's think. All right, one-sided beatings. Name your favorite one-sided beating of the last 5 years.
5 years. One out the decade.
That's too much, bro.
All right.
Is it really?
There's been a lot of one-sided beatings in the last 10 years.
One-sided beating. That's a good question.
Wilder Stavern 2.
I'm trying to think.
Fury Wilder 2.
I knew you
I'm
were
gonna
going to
say
say
Fury
that.
Wilder 2.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's too easy. That's way
It's
too
not
easy.
about being easy. It's literally my favorite.
It's too mainstream.
I'm trying to think. Man, this is a good question.
I gotta say,
I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. I had no ill will towards this fighter, but because this dude just refused to go, it was so satisfying. And that was Burchell versus Vargas.
Yeah.
He just refused to go. He was like, I don't care how many times you hit me, I'm still coming.
Yeah. But he did that. Roman was pretty satisfying too when Burchell fought him. Mickey Roman.
Yeah. He was touching up Burchell.
That was sad. I don't know about to qualify that as a one-sided. It ended in one-sided fashion when he got him on those ropes, started letting go. But yeah, I wouldn't call that a one-sided beat. So,
Was Adrian Broner and Maidana one-sided?
Yeah, more or less.
See, that would have been mine if it was been 10 years, but in a 5-year span, I'll pick, a Fury, Wilder too.
Yeah, too easy. I mean, it was one-sided, but it wasn't as punishing as, say, Murata Brandt too. Like Murata came out there to destroy this man, dog. Took him out. What was it? 2 rounds? That was satisfying.
What about Dorticos versus Kudryashov?
Oh yeah, that was great. And I predicted that one. But that was
in round 2.
What about Lomachenko Crawler or like Canelo against Rocky Rocky Fielding?
Loma Crawler, you knew it was coming. So you're just waiting for it. With Dorticos and Kudryashov, the beauty part of it was both these guys can punch. The both of them, don't let them hit you. But the way that the look on Kudryashov's face when he looked up at that was gold. That was gold. I kept the picture of that in my phone for 9 months.
Yeah, AJ
him
Brazil,
getting
that
up
was
like
a good one. You're right, Michael L. AJ Brazil was a good one-sided beating.
That was a good one-sided beating.
that was a good one-sided beating, man. That dude put a beating on that dude. AJ versus what's the old boy with the dreadlocks? Charles Martin. He got hit with the exact same punch he got knocked down with. AJ was laughing because he got hit with the exact same punch.
He should have been laughing that Charles Martin wore swim trunks to a boxing match.
Charles Martin was trying to model red bottoms that fight. That's all that was.
Yeah, that was fucking bizarre. Like, why is your short so short, bro? Like, what the fuck going on here? All right. One-sided beatings. That's my wife. Let me mute this.
Um,
What about
They're
Joe
saying
Smith Jr.
they're
over
saying Ugas
Hopkins?
versus Omar Figueroa in
you
the
said
chat.
Joe Smith Jr. Was that a one-sided beating?
Against Jesse Hart?
No. Joe Smith versus Bernard Hopkins.
Yeah, that was one sided. That was one sided.
How
Bernard.
about Omar Figueroa Jr. versus Robert Guerrero?
Oh
Yeah,
my God.
that underrated beating.
I mean, that
That
was
is
a
definitely
one-sided beating if there was one.
That was an underrated
most
beating.
definitely.
He ghosted the ghosts in that shit, dog. Like that dude looked like just get him the hell out of here, dog, before he gets killed.
I mean, because dude was Figueroa Jr. was landing them uppercuts at will, man. It was like, just stop. You hit them too much. Cut it out.
What about what was he? I don't know whether he was like Dominican or something. You remember the Japanese guy who was knocking out everybody? He was breaking ribs and what's his name? He was like a featherweight or like a bantamweight or something.
You're talking about Yamanaka.
There we go. And he got good
Willie
like a
Theory and
Dominican guy.
Yamanaka. Yeah,
He,
good. It
bro,
was,
that
look,
was satisfying because I didn't expect that at all.
bro, look. I think Neri's a piece of shit. I have to say that. But as far as a satisfying beating like that, the way he beat the shit out of Yamanaka in them two fights, dog, that was wow. It just
Actually, you know what? No, do you know what? A very underrated one-sided beating. Jonah Carroll against Scott Quigg.
yes.
That was one-sided all day long.
I didn't predict it would be one-sided, but I did go Jono for that fight. I felt Scott left it all in the ring against Valdez, and he ain't got nothing left.
Yeah.
Oh, I can tell you a good one sided beating. It wasn't again didn't have no ill will towards the fighter, but because the fight was so impressive, Bilbao versus Sullivan Barrera, man.
Good
When I
fight.
say this, when I say this dude, they said, hey, bring your shotgun. This dude brought his AK-47. I swear this dude threw so many shots and the hit was touching up Barrera all night.
And that speaks volumes. That was one of those fights that to me it speaks volumes about B-Ball because you can have Sullivan go out there and win on points against Joe. You can have John Pascal giving hell to Marcus Brown, giving hell to Badu Jack, but against B-Ball, nah, bro. This an easy fight to score. This is an easy one. Shout out to B-Ball.
Beaver was touching that dude up, man. That dude was doing 4, 5, 6 punch combinations.
My fucking God, man. B-Ball. He looks like a Bond villain. My fucking God, man.
Shoot, Low Place was getting on me because Jose Ramirez had beat the crap out of Amir Khan. And if you want to be honest, I don't think the fight was one-sided beating because Amir Khan was winning kind of like half of the fight before he got his eye swelled up, and that was like the end of it. Like once his eye swelled up, like Jose Ramirez took advantage and he was just battering on the dude.
Liam Williams against Alantez Fox. That was a pretty harsh one-sided beating.
I wasn't expecting that. I wasn't expecting that. I didn't expect it.
Liam Williams could fight a little bit.
Yeah, no, but I didn't expect him to just like dominate man like that. That was different.
Shoot, who was that? Okay, I'm not gonna call him a bum, but who was that one guy Liam Smith fought? Like Liam Smith just embarrassed the dude. Like I think it was like last year, or the year before.
I think it's Alantez Fox or Joe Mullen though. It was one of those two.
Yeah, that was a nice fight. Like Liam Smith came out just embarrassed the dude, was just beating him up all night.
I hope him and Andre are still gonna fight. I hope.
Yeah, they are. He's mandatory, so he's gonna have to fight him. I think he's fighting him next.
Shoot, the one that could have been a candidate, but he ended up slipping up at the last minute. Is John Jackson versus Jamel.
Yeah. I feel Jamel got lucky in that fucking fight. He's losing.
He did.
He's losing that shit.
He was definitely losing.
The John Jackson fight from 2 years ago. I think that was 2017, right?
Right.
He's losing that fight. But you gotta give it to him. He pulled it out. You gotta get even if he pulled it out, he got the knockout. So you gotta give it to him.
Even then, he did something very stupid. He hit him and he tried to adjust his mouthpiece, and then he hit him again. So I was like, whatever.
All right, all right. I'm gonna say I was impressed. As far as being impressed, if we go back to that, I was impressed with how Estrada looked against Sorum Visai, but I stand by my original contention that a big part of the reason you won that fight is because Saw was fucking up. Saw, you're not a switch hitter, bro. You don't need to do that shit. So even though Juan impressed me, that has a lot to do with it.
True.
Roman Gonzalez in his comeback fight.
He impressed me. I did pick him to win though, so I wasn't super impressed.
Actually, you know what?
When was
one more one-sided beating? Crawford and Khan.
Oh yeah,
I knew Crawford was gonna beat him, but I never expected him just to, just piece him up like that.
Well, I would say Crawford
every
and
single
Horn.
round.
I say Crawford and Horn is a better performance.
I'll agree with that. I was more, not that I was super impressed, but I was more impressed with him beating Horn the way that he did than Khan. I thought Khan was finished before that fight. Like this dude.
No, I did as well, but I didn't think he would, like every second he's just gonna have his way with him every moment.
Shoot, but when was Adrian Broner versus Alec Cardia?
Mikey impressed me with how he beat Broner because, and I'm a little bit ashamed of this because
that is true.
I was impressed with how he took him because it was easy, it was one-sided, it wasn't nothing about that fight you need to argue about. Mikey won. It wasn't nothing you need to argue about.
Mm-hmm.
That fight impressed me.
Honestly, I think a fight where it wasn't like a beating, but he just dominated, in my opinion, even though a lot of people don't agree, is Sean Porter versus Danny Garcia.
You think he really?
Yeah, I had Sean Porter winning 8 rounds.
I didn't have him winning by that much. I thought he gave Danny a lot of respect, which was a little impressive on Danny's end. That like Danny, he's got punch. If Sean's not just diving in the way he normally does, that's something. That's something because that's what Sean do.
Honestly, I think he took advantage of Danny Garcia. Danny Garcia just too many times in the clinch was just like counting on a ref to break it up, and he wasn't going to do that.
I'm real curious about this Danny Garcia Spence fight, though. Even though I'm not big on it, like I'd rather see something else. It does have intrigue because it's like, if Spence don't got it all together, he could lose that fucking thing. He could lose the fight. But that's on the back of injury, so it's like it's intriguing, but it's intriguing for the wrong reasons. It's not intriguing because y'all both so fucking good. It's intriguing because you fucking flipped a Ferrari. That's what's intriguing.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people in the comments they may mention Mayweather versus Gotti is like the most one-sided beating ever. Shoot, I be asking people like, have you ever seen Larry Holmes versus Tex Cobbs?
Shit,
man. When I say that, I never in my life have I seen a white guy turn into a black guy without makeup.
Tyson versus
like literally.
If we're gonna go to heavyweight for our one-sided beatings, Mike Tyson versus Lou Savarese. He even knocked the fucking ref out. That's
I remember that.
Hey, somebody in the comments mentioned Canelo versus Pero.
Canelo versus who?
Pero.
Oh yeah, that's a good beating.
Shoot. Roman Gonzalez versus Akira Yagashi.
That
was nasty.
No. It got nasty. Towards the end, yes, that's one-sided, but it had moments.
What about Floyd versus Gotti? I mean, Gotti got his ass whooped.
Yeah,
you knew he was gonna get his ass whooped, though. You knew. Yeah, Gotti.
That's true. We didn't know.
Shoot. If you want to be honest, I mean, I'm probably going to get some hate for this, but Ivan Robinson probably gave Gotti a worse beating. You don't think so? You know how many punches that guy threw?
No, that's fair.
Man, that was like, he was just, oh God, that dude took a beating.
It was just what amplified Floyd's for me is he was talking so much shit, and you kind of wanted Gaddy to at least make a fight of it because, Gaddy wasn't saying a whole lot and you knew where he was in his career. So you kind of
What was Flores saying? Like you're a bum or something?
Like that's what he was saying. You're a bum. You're a C-class fighter. You're not better than him. This, that, and the other. And you know, Gaddy was a popular guy, so you just like you talking all this shit to him. You kind of wanted Gaddy to make a fight of it at least. You know he's not gonna win, but you want him to make a fight of it, and he just got butchered.
Gotti was an exciting B-level fighter. I mean, you know, he wasn't great with the top competition or elites or anything, but he had his moments with lower competition.
Yeah, that's what he was. That's exactly what he was. A good B-. I call him a B- fighter.
Because there were some of his fights I really enjoyed. Him and Mickey Ward had a great trilogy.
It's a classic.
You know, the fight with him and Wilson Rodriguez was another classic.
Shoot, Ivan Robinson.
Beat out of Joey Gamache. That was a good little knockout.
Dude, didn't he get sued for that?
Joey Gamache? I don't know.
Not Joey Gamache. Arturo Gotti, I think, got sued. Or his team or something because of how much he rehydrated. He rehydrated up to 160 pounds.
But yeah. Anyway, gentlemen, it's been a pleasure. I'm gonna get call it a night. Go to sleep. See you in the morning.
Have a good one, man.
Yes.
All right,
Good night, fellas.